noodles in a cabbage soup. A simple
Wait,
cabbage soup.
like you made the noodles yourself?
Yeah.
Good job, Beller.
Oh, that's badass, bro.
1
That's
second. So here's the
badass.
dough, and here it is. Here's basically the
You got the pasta maker. Oh
all by
shit!
hand.
Look at that! Wow, bro, that's pro. That is pro and legit as shit. That's badass. That is
One of
badass.
my wishes is to work in a restaurant someday. Problem is, I
Really?
don't have any formal education,
Oh,
so
dude, you don't
there's
need
that.
any
Hey,
of that shit. Join,
you
go. I have
can
a
you can do culinary.
Oh yeah.
You could, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You could just literally, bro. If I mean, this is up to you and like the workplace, but
Yeah.
I don't know if this was just a specific situation. But I had a friend who worked up from a, I think he was a bus boy, then he was a dishwasher, then he was a server for a little bit, and then they threw him on the line because he was like, "Yo, I want to try cooking," and they gave him
Yeah,
a
but
chance.
you can try anything. Just got to be lucky to get a chance
Yeah,
to try it.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
would
true.
Yeah.
That
say
is very true.
personally, I would say I'm experienced enough to run a mediocre street kitchen. I would say, at the very least.
Huh. So you've
Only
done
problem is,
managerial shit before? Or what's up? Only
That's not
problem
bad.
is.
no, it's
That's
that is
you can
well
start there.
managerial. I like statistics, but when it comes to like just running a street kitchen, it's just simple as having some food pre-made and then reheating it and
Oh
serving it
shit.
up to people. But
Dane,
yeah,
That's true.
why'd you
Yeah.
say shit?
He's getting
Well,
fucked. They
Oh, okay. Okay, you're showing his
really-
picture.
yeah, I'm showing the picture.
Okay.
Oh wait, damn it! I lost the Twitch link. Well, I can find it.
Yeah. So,
Twitch.
morning, everyone. This
Morning.
is the food that he was just talking about. Homemade udon noodles and cabbage.
Bro,
yay.
fire.
Well done.
When it comes to the cabbage, the way of making cabbage that I've done there is basically just it is the precursor to the Norwegian meal lamb and cabbage, except that I didn't have any lamb in there. Basically, it's just bouillon. You have bouillon water, like you have water with bouillon cubes in it, and like a few spoonfuls of black pepper. Like I maybe have 1 tablespoon of black pepper in there, like whole corns, dried. And then you just let that, like, give it a boil and put it to low heat and let it just sit there for like ages, like maybe
Chef
2 hours. Literally, you don't boil the cabbage into pieces. Just let it soak in the warm broth,
Just simmer.
and not even simmer. Basically, just have it in water that is sub boiling and just leave it there for a long while. Set it to
Huh.
stew essentially.
Interesting.
And it was one of my favorite ways of eating cabbage.
Interesting.
And yeah,
Also,
No,
I would like to
wait,
point something out.
what?
I see something's very special right here.
Hmm.
That being.
That.
Right deck.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Try. Okay, so I have
Oh,
finally
this
made
thing.
the critical deck. So you guys see the
The
bottom
hell is
left.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the bottom left, you see like a deck of cards with like a head and a die and a bloodstain. So
You sure?
you take your mouse, you hover it. I'm just gonna say to everyone here. You take your mouse, you hover over it, and you
Mhm.
click and drag, and place it on the deck. When you do that,
Huh.
it should leave it like there. Like just draw a for a 20, or an A, or a 16,
Put it on my face, and now it's covering my
or
character.
a 41. But yeah, basically, that is going to be how that is how we're going to be doing critical fumbles and hits from now on. Instead of having you guys roll a 1d52, you're going to just be drawn from the deck of cards, because the critical system and such is the critical system and such is like already a deck of cards in real life.
Mhm.
And I figured I kind of wanted to make it a reality as well. Now I could like transfer the whole decks into it, but the text would be rather blurry and hard to read. So I figured the better way to do it is just do like I've been doing it until now, by just posting the card that you guys drew into
What?
into Discord.
So I also noticed that Kagi seems to be having fun with the new table.
That is just something
He
that
is
is not going
trying
to be
stuff.
that is not going to be available to the players. That is going to be a GM tool for me. I was just working on while I'm waiting for you guys to get here.
I'd like you to know that I dropped my fork.
Oh no.
That is the
Well,
president.
take a move action to pick it back
no.
up again then.
Roll a dice, roll a dice, roll a dice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm
no.
kind of like, I'm kind of weary because it fell on the ground.
Ooh, yeah, new fork time.
Yeah.
No, it's called you can use fucking water.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but it's
could
all.
rinse it
But
off.
also, the only thing I have left is carrots and potatoes. I can pick those
Ew.
up with my hands.
Ew, fuck carrots. I'm not a carrot gang boy. I never
Hey,
enjoy carrots.
Don't you know carrots are good for your eyes if you stab them really hard enough?
If you stab him really hard.
Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it at this. I love carrots.
I like them too. They're good.
Yeah.
Carrots love
I
you.
love carrots, but I won't force anyone else to like them if they don't. As much as I love to care for others, a lot of the time their nutritional intake is not my responsibility, and it would be rude of me to do so. If you guys want to banter a bit more, I feel like going to grab some whiskey and/or vodka from the fridge
Ooh,
and
yes.
something
Sounds
to eat
good.
it with.
Hell yeah, bro, do that.
You know,
Well-
Yeah, right.
I would also like to start right now, but I guess I could also go grab some Chinese food from last night.
Eat.
Eat/drink/eat/drink/. But yeah.
I am enjoying
march,
some
march, march.
marijuana.
Yeah, no, I like carrots. Boyfriend's not a fan of carrots.
Smart, man.
However, HelloFresh puts a lot of carrots in their meals.
Who does?
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
The HelloFresh, the meal prep thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you too could get some right now. I'm not actually sponsored by it though.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say.
should look into, bro. You should look into it.
Do you think
Good job.
you think that they'd sponsor someone like me, who only has
I-
like
I-
33 people following him on Twitch and 62 people subscribe to him on YouTube?
Dude,
Once you do a hot tub stream, they'll sponsor you.
Oh, that
thank
gotta
you.
fucking work. Well, I'll be right back. Kage, entertain the people.
Oh, I'm back. I can start singing if you want to.
Please,
I'm
please.
I'm eating carrots.
Give us
Technically,
a
I was
traditional
singing,
Norwegian ballad.
but yeah.
Wait, where are you from, man?
Norway.
Really? That's a Norwegian accent? Dude, you sound British, bro.
Well, that's what-
Norwegian. Yeah.
What?
I'm a Norwegian who you could say technically suffers from mother tongue atrophy.
What?
I've,
do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that I'm the kind of person that says English is my first language, but Norwegian is my mother tongue. As in, I have valued English much more as well, with focus of my time and such like that, to the point where to think I have more problems thinking of the Norwegian version of an English word than the opposite.
Really?
It's
Oh,
not very
interesting.
it's not very
I mean, I
pronounced
feel like that
yet,
was Spanish.
but
Yeah, dude, I forgot all my Spanish, bro, for like 2 years. I had to move to Miami to relearn it, because I grew up in Texas. I got made fun of so many times and bullied for speaking Spanish. I just kind of dropped it, and then I came back here, I was like, whoa, I remember this.
well, the thing is with me, I live in Norway.
Yeah.
I've lived in Norway all my life. I've like at the most
Well, no,
I've spent
Lucian.
like At the most, I've spent like 3 months, maybe half a year outside of the Norwegian border, but that's like all of it.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wait,
Also, you have to remember that the closest, like, English is the official
Yeah.
language is England.
Yeah.
So that's where he would get his English from.
Well,
Still, it's
What's
You
the
say
official
that-
language in Norway?
ABC.
You
Norwegian,
say
right?
you say that Norwegian is the official language of Norway, yeah. But you say that, Kage, but then you remember that on the internet there is no such thing as borders. The only reason why I've adopted a British accent over an American one is because just essentially preference and honing my skills and stuff like that. I
That's
still
fair.
sometimes because I feel like I'm an accent sponge. Like if I watch enough Father Ted, I'll have an Irish accent for the coming weeks and such.
And if you
But,
watch enough
yeah.
American TV, will you get an American accent, or you haven't experimented that?
I mean,
Mostly when it comes to the American stuff, I tend to say herb instead of herb. That's the most of it, really. But you never know. It might be.
Schedule? You say schedule?
I say schedule.
Okay,
Harry,
okay,
you couldn't
okay.
even say it.
I can. What about aluminum?
Aluminium all the way, mate. Aluminium.
I'm sorry. That's just
I will say,
I'll-
Wilduck, that my
What?
father suffers from the same syndrome now.
Yeah, like slowly, like having another language take over the mother tongue.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know, my dad is an immigrant to America.
From where?
First generation.
From
Well,
the
suppose-
Azores. So,
Where?
Portugal. Azores.
Oh,
The
Portugal.
Hawaii of the Atlantic Ocean.
Você fala português? No, right?
No, I
Oh.
did not get to learn Portuguese because I was a girl.
What?
Really?
Seriously, that is my father's excuse.
Uh.
Huh.
Yeah, they started teaching my youngest brother Portuguese and he has no interest in it.
No,
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, anytime I see him, he's like speaking Portuguese to his brothers. And he has to stop and do in Portuguese.
Because he forgot. Because he forgot.
The sad thing is that I have a proficiency for languages.
Yeah,
And I don't know another
Yeah.
language other than English.
That's
Oh, let me
Oh.
rephrase that. I can do enough conversational French. Or let me rephrase that. I can understand enough conversational French that I can reply in English.
interesting.
That is always fun, seeing like two conversations happening in two different
In
languages where
different
we both understand both languages.
Come
which
to
is
my
Oh
house,
yeah,
bro.
no.
Yeah.
I have a friend from Canada who is now married this woman, but he was going out with an Irish woman, and she was just one day we all three of us were in a call because we were in the same guild together. Me and her, or she's speaking French. He doesn't understand French,
But you can
and
kind of
I'm having a
understand.
full-on conversation with her in English.
So he's just hearing one side of a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Awesome. That's really fucking awesome. Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
badass. What? You what?
I'm back.
I mean, just
Oh, hi, Lucian.
Welcome back.
Hey, make sure you get home safe, all right?
So what?
Okay.
What prompted you to choose French over another language, Vivian?
well, I had to take high school French.
Ah, they didn't give you like a choice of like Spanish.
Oh my god, high school was so fucked up for me.
In what way? If you feel like sharing.
Okay, so I don't mind. So
Quick story.
I at the beginning of freshman year, in October of that year, we moved from New Hampshire to Tennessee.
Okay.
I was
So
in
from
special
South.
education mainstream,
Okay.
which meant that I got help with notes and shit like that.
Yeah, no, I was in special ed too for my handwriting, so I got like
Oh.
leniency on tests. So yeah, I got like a little taste of it in a way. And
Yeah.
I got a special period where I could basically fuck off.
Unfortunately, we did we were in a quarter
That was
system,
middle school for me. What's up?
which
Which
oh no,
means-
we're in a box education system, which
What the
meant
fuck?
that we had 4 hour-and-a-half classes per day.
Oh shit! 4 hour. Wait.
4
Repeat that again?
hour-and-a-half classes.
Oh, that's like
Hmm.
college. That's
Mhm.
like fucking college. Jesus Christ.
But the nice thing is that in that kind of system, I thrive because one of my biggest issues was remembering to do homework
Really?
and bringing it in. And in that kind of system,
Yeah.
there was enough time to do homework in the middle of
Yeah.
class.
Oh, yeah. I got away with doing a lot of that too.
Yeah. But because we moved from a place that started school in September to a place that started school in August, we were already halfway through classes. Because you don't take classes year long there. After winter break, you're in a completely different schedule.
Huh?
You finish an entire credit of classes in half a
The
year with
first
that
half.
system.
Oh my
Mm.
god! Wow, that actually sounds remarkably efficient.
Oh,
Aren't the grades different too? Like not grading. I mean,
Like the
you're
criteria?
you're younger when you're in a higher grade or something like that, right?
I was older because I was held back in 5th grade because I was too short to go to 6th grade.
What?
What?
Because of
Not
your
even
height?
joking.
Because of your height? I'm sorry for getting
My
you down.
mom held me back because of my height. Yes, I was less
Wow,
than.
that's the first I would hear that.
What?
I was
a
4 foot
bitch.
tall at that time.
What?
I didn't even make it to 5 feet.
What?
And
Well,
what?
is there-
Not
so
Well,
everyone
at
was
the
just
very
gonna walk on
least-
top of
I
you?
mean,
At the very least,
so,
you can
right?
move 5 feet as a free action in this game. Shall we get on the road?
Yes.
I'm willing to get on the road, but just a last thing to everyone who's here. That does make Kage technically a short stack back then.
Oh, I was. Oh no. Yeah, no. In 5th grade, yeah, I was below 4 feet. Yes, I was supposed to be a midget. So
Wait, how tall are you now, Kage?
4'11". They estimated my height at 4'9", which anything below 4'10" is considered a little person.
So you just barely missed the
Actually,
margin.
I'll be back. I'll be
I
back
took
rather shortly.
medication.
When I get back, though, I would like to get started more as immediately as possible.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I took medication to get taller. Yes, there is medication to get
Growth
taller.
hormones, right?
Yeah, I had to inject it in my
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah, I
It
had a friend who did that.
Sounds like
for
something my
soccer.
entire family might need to take.
No, never do it. It is an absolute mistake.
Okay,
No.
fair enough. That means I
When-
get to remain the tallest.
When everyone says, "Oh, Kage, you shouldn't be in this much pain," I'm in this much pain because of growth hormones.
Oh.
Ow.
Ouchie.
Yes,
Yeah.
having to forcibly be stretched due to medicine, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah.
It's not even forcibly stretched. Oh my god, I have horror stories. Ever been strapped to a chair for 4 hours and then almost go into a
Wait,
diabetic coma?
Wait,
I have.
strapped into a chair?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With IVs in both arms.
What?
I was maybe 12 when this happened, and I almost went into a diabetic coma.
That's
Because
horrible.
They make you not,
how
or they don't let you eat before this. And then they give you insulin to see how low your blood sugar can get.
What is that supposed to measure?
Okay, sorry about
I-
that. I should be.
Oh, no, we gotta
I
test.
should be-
I
Yeah,
can type
should
it
be
out.
clear to be sitting down for like 4 hours now, so. Well, for
Yeah.
however long you guys want to sit.
I
So,
mean, bro, I'm good till 3.
let's get this on the road. Last time you guys were here, with the exception of Perry, who during the night vanished into the shadows and materializes in his back on his bedroll upon waking up after the combat. You were ambushed during the night by 4 lust spawns, who, from what you guys can see, only are wearing, apart from like modest clothing and such, apart from regular clothing and such, they are wearing basically just the equipment that you saw them wearing. So there is a long sword, there's a heavy steel shield, 2 short swords, a morning star, 2 pieces of leather armor, and 2 pieces of studded leather armor. All of these are medium-sized, with some tailoring or leatherwork. The leather armor can be made into small, even shoddily so, if you want to give it an attempt.
Well, Charon basically got his sleeping armor.
Indeed. Okay, but other than that, you guys still have like 4 hours to be fully rested. For all intents and purposes, Vivian is the only one currently fully rested because she was woken up at the end of her 8-hour sleeping period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, then wouldn't 𝓮𝓼 and 𝓮𝓪𝓷𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓽 also be?
Yeah, I suppose those who basically everyone except for 𝓮𝓵𝓷𝓾
and Charon.
Yeah, Deanna needs to sleep more. He had to wank for a bit.
Not
He
to
doesn't
mention
feel
that
refreshed
he got brought a bit more awakened from the excursion, but other than that, yeah, you need more rest.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we don't have my cart because we had to leave behind.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you guys should have your HP reductions like already on your sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still
Remember
at 18
that when
out
you-
of 26.
When you are sleeping, you regain. When you're sleeping like in a on a bedroll or something like that, you regain your hit dice, so your total levels plus your Constitution modifier. If you're sleeping with medical attention, for example, someone having rolled a heal check to tend to your wounds before bedtime, like applying salves and such, or like doing washing the wounds and stuff like that. If that is done, you regain during this is a homebrew rule, but if you do that, you get twice your Constitution level, like Constitution bonus. So, at the moment, you regain your level plus Constitution modifier, which is the little number after your Constitution score. If you have a 14, there's a +2. If you have a 16, there's a +3. So on and so forth. I would imagine whatever you guys want to keep from the fight, you just mark on your sheet. Just make sure you don't mark any doubles. And let us start by giving you guys control after you have finished resting up everyone. So,
well,
like
that's
4 hours. Yeah?
never mind, because I didn't rest for this. Basically, never mind.
No, no,
One
I asked
question.
what
I don't
my
mind
HP
taking a
total
quick
is
nap.
from that other sheet
Do
because
I
I
need
kept
to
it
rest?
tracked on my token.
No, Perry, you technically got a full rest in the Shadow
That's what
Void.
I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Can
I'll
I
s-
thank
Basically,
God?
No, it's not Zelda.
Okay, I'm
anyone has
missing
any-
3 HP. Thank you.
yeah, if anyone has any HP notes to get from here, please get that.
Okay, also one question.
Yeah?
If I leveled up, do I add how much my max HP went up to after this rest? Or?
When you basically it's like equations. If you gain 6 hit points, you do the +6 on either side.
Okay, gotcha.
So your max HP raises and your current HP raises to match it. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, that helps. You got it then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
15 out of 20.
Also, Vivian,
Yes.
I would love for you to just send a message somewhere about what spell you are preparing for today.
You are right. I need to do that. I need to look at the
If you're-
spell list.
If you are uncertain, you can leave it unprepared. Just keep in mind it's going to take you an hour to prepare it.
Yeah. I need to get to the SRD.
Uh-huh. Okay. to give a little bit of a extra recap as well, you guys fell from the sky on this little island over here. You swam, well, you took a boat over here, crashed, like, it sank 100 meters from shore, you swam across. Your idea was eventually, your ultimate idea was to get down to here to check out the opening, and then eventually potentially make your way over here by crossing potentially, like, over here, because it is shorter. But yeah, you thought that the lady you guys were looking for might have exited from that if she landed in the same place you did. So, where do you want to go?
I still think that we should, I think we should still look through that, but now we know there's a way to cross without the freaking water bugging us.
Yeah. Shocker, right?
Have
Oh,
we
what do you
looted
mean?
the people who attacked us? Might they have anything on them?
But yeah, what do you mean, Vivian? By crossing water without it bugging you?
Without a boat bugging us.
Yeah.
Oh.
How so?
We saw the lust, spawn walk across through that, thing.
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yes, but do you know if you can?
I definitely would have tried it during watch, since there were 2 other people.
Well, I can tell you that. Also, my clock is telling me seek Sion with style. That's fun.
Sixion!
But yeah, so during your watch, you tip tap over to the edge and try to put your foot across it, and it happens more or less exactly what would happen if you went to do the same over the edge of a cliff.
Oh, okay.
Your foot doesn't find any perches.
Okay. Well, then I would.
Do you want to try to experiment some? Do you want to experiment some more with the bridge, or the invisible bridge?
Honestly, I would.
Well, what would you want to try?
That I don't know what I would try as Vivian.
I mean,
If that makes sense.
do you want some logical leaps?
No,
Or
I
you
guess
just
I would
wanna-
just start my my ritual to prepare my spells, which I will describe for the 2 people who are up with me.
My first thought is just squeezing the water rock over and over again over yourself.
No, well, you see Vivian go into the water? Not very deep. She's wearing nothing. She's not wearing her armor or anything. And she just washes. Saying little prayers as she does.
I'm
So,
sorry, did I miss that? Did she say it's scrumptious taking little prayers as she goes?
No,
She
she's
washes
basically.
saying
I
prayers as she
heard
goes.
scrumptious, like you're eating something, like just walking
No.
around with a little snack.
Munching.
Grumptiddly-umptious, don't you know?
Unfortunately, I left the roach behind.
Oh.
Oh.
But yeah, there are
Oh.
when it comes to spellcasting, there are two methods of it. There are divine spellcasters and there are arcane ones. The arcane ones generally have like 1 of 2 ways of doing it. Either you just rest and that is it, or you have to rest, wake up, and then like read through a spellbook. Those are the difference between spontaneous and prepared spellcasters. When it comes to the divine, basically you have to be well rested. Well, you have to, like, after 24 hours, you can commune with either your deity or your, like, area of divine expertise for, like, an hour during prayer or during morning routine, and then you are granted your spells, such as stuff as from druid, clerics, or paladins.
With a witch once, I legitimately had breakfast with my familiar. And
Well,
that's how I
basically,
prepared my spells.
when it comes to the witch, it's a prepared arcane spellcaster where the familiar is basically your spellbook. So you commune with your familiar, which technically puts you in contact with your patron. But it's your familiar that remembers the spells. For all intents and purposes, it's a living spellbook.
But yeah, no, this is just a flavor thing.
Yes.
Cashew flavoring.
So the night passes without incident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without any further incident. And it is the light has risen in a transparent ceiling above you. As for all you know, it is currently Sunday the 21st of Erastile, I think it was. Or Erasta. I'm gonna find it up. But yeah, it is the 21st of the month. The month being Erastus, which would be the Gh'larian equivalent to July. So, what you guys want to do?
I mean, I would start packing up camp.
Okay.
Wait, I completely forgot. How much does that heal? Okay.
But yeah, just a little curiosity that I figured out. When you guys are clearing up camp, you notice that there is a single twig in the bonfire, or what were previously a bonfire, that has not been burnt. It looks untouched from flame. It's a gnarled, rootish looking thing.
A twig?
Deanna's gonna pick that twig up.
You're gonna pick it up in the middle of the fire.
I mean,
No, the
isn't it
fire's
out?
gone out.
Yeah, the fire's out. The fire's out.
Oh, so it doesn't look
It's
scarred.
just-
Okay.
It doesn't look burnt
Burnt.
whatsoever. So Deanna's picking that
No,
twig
it's
up.
it's a little bit scorched,
it's a
but
holy
like
stick.
it's just surface soot essentially. It's not charred anyway.
Huh. It's not ashes. Interesting. Interesting.
I shall take the stick with me, and I will call it Henry.
Okay. You may mark Henry the unburnt stick on your character sheet.
Henry, the unburned stick.
You now have the drawback attachment object. Good luck.
Had that.
Take -4 to everything because Henry has died.
No,
No.
Henry!
Sorry.
Henry.
He stole the plane!
But yeah, what do guys? What do?
Well, do we still head for that cave down there?
First, I'll
You
switch into
guys-
my normal armor.
In the sunlight, you guys want to stand on top of your little platform and look around, get a bit of a better, get a bit of a better view on things.
Yeah, sure, why not?
No.
Okay. Give me perception checks. Those who want to look around.
Shit.
I would imagine you guys would send the winged creature up into the sky looking for you.
Yeah.
Deanna's tired from having to do that weight so hard last night.
Ouch, I rolled a 3.
You rolled a
Ooh,
1.
21.
Natural
Oh,
1 plus
perception.
2. Shara wants to roll as well.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. You want to give us a
So-
little flyer on there?
Half the party got great rolls, half the party got shit rolls. And I'm counting the
Okay.
Phantom as part of the party.
Well, to be
Perfectly
fair,
balanced, as all
To
things
be
should.
fair, Dane, the Phantom is part of the party and it has skill checks for a reason. So, let's start with Ulan and the Phantom. They notice each other. That is,
That's
in-
it.
You're
in the
alive?
haze-
Yes, I'm
in
alive.
the
Are you
haze
alive?
of
I was
waking,
never
they
alive.
notice each other.
Oh wow.
The Enra.
perceptive.
The Endra noticed that the lust spawns have stayed dead over the night, They have not moved an inch. Well, maybe a little bit if Vivian decided to poke at them a little bit. Vivian.
Yes.
Vivian notices that there is, like, you look towards here because you were talking about maybe crossing over. It might be an easier path to not go in the water. And it does look like, it doesn't look like there's much troubled water over there. It might be feasible to swim over. Meanwhile, you also see over here that there is an entrance in the cave that appear to be hewn out of stone with a few engravings here and there. Looks like it might match up with the current stonework you're standing on. Then it goes over to Perry and Sharon. That also notice, in addition to noticing everything Vivian noticed, also notices there appear to be like a smaller platform down here as well. Well, not there, like over here, behind essentially the mount. I can't select it to move it. I'm just gonna do it like that. There appears to be like a little platform down there over the crest of the hill. It looks to be of construction, but you don't know what its purpose is. It might be another bridge platform, or it might be something else. And that's what you see. You don't notice anything special in the distance either. Like nothing towards the Metropolis in the distance.
Gotcha.
It's a little far away.
Well, are we still gonna explore the cave to see it maybe at least to the surface, or?
I mean, I'm down.
Because there is another platform down that way as well.
Yeah.
I still want to see if she came this way.
Mm-hmm. The rest of you?
We can check that other platform to see if we have better luck with that one than these over here.
Yeah, the platform's nearby the cave too, I think so.
Yeah,
Or at least
then
along
that's
the way.
Well,
Okay.
might as well.
So you guys want to journey south?
Yeah, it seems so.
Now,
everybody's
Okay.
in agreement.
So you guys
Oh.
decide to pack up and journey south. Going by overland rules, you can get there by. You can either get there. It's like 3 miles to there essentially, and that is by the rules gonna be about 6 hours if you guys want to decide to go normal speed. Actually, no, 3 miles per hour. So yeah, 1 hour to get to there.
hey.
Okay.
Oh,
Take
okay.
That's better than
You
C.
get there in half an hour if you hustle.
Nah.
What happens? Yeah, nah.
Well, we
Take
just
it easy,
rested
take
though.
it easy.
We just rested.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
the end is still hurt.
Well,
Oh,
look at
true,
it this
true.
way. If you guys want to min-max, if you guys just want to get there like faster, like not burning daylight, you can hustle for an hour with no consequence.
Yeah, that's why I think
It's
hustle
like
would probably be
it's,
good.
it's like a
Half an
light
hour,
jog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, also, any question for something too? Not related to the travel, but
Let's put these glutes to work. Let's hustle.
Hustle.
so just us to see how it would work. Since Azri technically like disappeared, reappeared. How would that work in terms of like our fight? Just that he didn't participate, or that we think he participated? Just for clarification. There.
We aren't supposed to notice.
Yeah.
Like as if he was in
Okay.
his own fight while we were fighting.
Well, let's say it like this: the first day you guys remember being awake
Mhm.
together as a group.
Yeah.
You feel that everyone was present.
Okay.
For example, when you guys fought the goblins, we all know that 𝓮𝓵𝓷, Vivian, and Sharon were there. Ulan and Azray, you guys feel like they were there and they were doing their part but a different place.
Okay, gotcha.
You don't know.
They were fighting invisible goblins that we didn't know about. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I just wanted to clarify so I can get it clear in my head again. So.
So, I'm gonna go a little bit into the I'm gonna break the veil a little bit here. if I thought that the 4 lust spawns you were fighting were going to be too much for a reduced party,
Mm-hmm.
the act of 𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓵 disappearing would leave a essentially lightning tendril, or like a shadowy tendril, shooting out and devouring the amount of combatants that I cliffhanged
Wow.
with, leaving
What?
the combat more balanced, and that would feel completely normal to you guys.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Basically,
A little scared.
If someone is not present for the combat,
Yeah.
if someone is not present for the combat, either think of it as they were indisposed of, like just vaguely, oh, like it's fine, they weren't there with us, they were helping out elsewhere, or like
Okay, yeah,
watching our
gotcha.
back, or they were off gathering something and we just happened to get ambushed while they were away.
Mm-hmm.
It is as simple as that, because yeah, in a strange sort of way, you guys are in harmony. It's hard to
Gotcha,
explain.
gotcha. No,
As
it's
a
that
character
helps
wise, it's hard
clarify
to
it. So
explain, but it makes sense.
yeah, it makes
After
sense.
I
This
wasn't there, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys crest the hill. The hill, like the wall of the cave, getting closer and closer. And yeah, like you notice definitely that this opening in the wall is definitely ornate. And you start to actually notice a little bit of a road appearing underneath all the dirt you're walking on. It is starting to turn from a dirt road to a dirty paved road, and eventually, like when you're getting close to where you see some water trickling from the cave, where it has washed away some of the dirt, an actual paved road that looks to be of the same make as the platform you guys were just on. Almost as if over the ages of dirt from the top side has been slowly flowing down, or trickling down and just dusting the area. You also notice that there's a path going to the west that appears to be going to some sort of a harbour or a dock. That's the best way you can describe it from a distance. There appear to be some storage shelves? Question mark.
Are there any
You would have to
boats
get closer to
moored
see.
or- okay.
It's all stone construction, so it's hard to tell from the shades and stuff of such.
Fair.
So,
That's
Radio Zork style, do you go to the docks or do you go for the opening in the cave?
I think it'd be better for us to go into the opening.
Thinking the docks, but you know what? You can easily argue with me to get me out of that idea.
uh,
The docks just look interesting to me. But
the
I wanna
docks seem
survive.
more like. I think we could just use the docks are like we come back if we want to like maybe find something useful to travel with after. But yeah,
That's what I keep thinking
That's
about, because I see
Yeah.
that city in the distance and I want to go there right now. But I know if we go there, it's gonna be hard. I get the
Yeah, so it's-
Retroactively,
supplies.
can everyone roll
Yeah.
me a perception check? Because
Sure
you
thing.
did
God,
say
I hope this is better.
you did say you were like looking to see if the
Hey,
lady had
dirt
come
20.
this way. So this perception check is to notice tracks.
okay. 24 Azray.
Oh,
Nat
shit.
20.
Nice.
Oh
Hey!
shit!
So,
So,
far,
Damn.
Aaron, Dienra, and Azra are
Dienra
doing
and
good this
Azray.
time.
Dienra and Azray do notice tracks, but they are none that can be like none of them can be attributed to like people or like humanoids from the surface. No boots, no bare feet that can resemble a human or a half-elf, which you guys happen to be looking for. You do notice tracks of other things. Something that looks like animal tracks, or something that looks like more reptilian in nature. Roll me either knowledge nature or knowledge local to find out more about those tracks if you want to.
Is it in the same tab
Do
as
I have-
And
perception?
skills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's in
Skills,
the
yeah.
same tab.
Have knowledge locals.
Oh. I have both.
You have a rank
Okay.
in both of them, or? Oh yeah.
They're the
Well,
same.
Nat
You
20
said
again.
knowledge.
The heck, dude?
Seriously?
So Azray
Azri?
does not know. Actually, do you have any checks in knowledge nature? Do you have like a 1 rank or something like that in nature?
I have
you,
a
Azray?
negative number one.
No,
That's a
As in-
modifier.
That's the modifier. The
Oh,
rank
no,
is literally the first black box right after the modifier of -1.
I can see. Knowledge nature, you do not have any ranks in any knowledges, so you do not know. You can roll in it, but you can't get a higher die roll than 10. So,
Okay.
you can technically answer a simple question. It would be an unmodified roll without like any modifiers whatsoever. And with a 10, you do know these are definitely animal tracks. Well, I'll say animal-ish tracks. I may be stepping on my own feet here. I need to go double check something. Yep, animal tracks.
Also, just so you know, for like future reference, by the way, all the skills you see a little star next to at the end of the word,
Yeah.
that means you need a rank in them to get like the full benefit when you roll that. Some DMs, if you don't have a ranking, you can't roll it. Well, look at you roll for like
Well-
basic stuff about it, but that's like
The basics of it.
better understanding.
The
Yeah,
basics of it
train
is
use
if it has a
only.
star, if it has a star, you don't have a rank in it, you can't roll it. With the exception of the knowledges, you can roll knowledges, but you can only get a 10. Like you can only get a 10 and below. So, for example, actually, you know what? With your check, you would these like animal tracks to you would look like dogs. You
Ha!
think they may be dogs.
That's
yeah.
interesting. So it could be like a
Meanwhile,
hyena.
𝓬𝓫 actually has 2 skill points. Not just 2.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah, 2 skill points located into knowledge local. So,
Without a doubt, these are
Okay.
kobold tracks.
oh boy.
Whoa.
All right, so
And yeah, they're going. Some are going to the cave, some are going out of the cave.
Are they fresh?
DM is
No,
gonna
not
lean
particularly,
down
no.
and kind of trail his left hand's fingers along the tracks before he soon says, "So we have a couple of problems.
What
What?
problems?
One, we don't have any. There's no tracks here that prove that our half-elf lady came this way.
Mm.
And 2, these tracks belong to kobolds. They're not
Well,
necessarily dangerous, but the animals slowly stand
Not
up.
aggressive.
But they do tend to normally serve dragons, or at the very least, they serve
Ooh.
in name of a dragon.
They tend to worship dragons, is the specifics of it.
Yeah. They're not all
Okay.
just associated with dragons. They can a lot of them are without dragon masters,
Are
just for
they
setting
gonna
it.
worship me
Yeah.
if I transform into a dragon in front of them?
You,
Can I get a free worship?
eventually, you will get form of dragon, but you don't have it right now.
Disappointed.
At the very at the very least, I think we can at least still try and talk to them, if one of us know how to speak to kobolds.
Oof.
You would know. Would you know this check? You do know that they do speak Draconic.
And do I know the language? I do not know. I only know Orc.
How do
No.
we see what languages we know?
It's at the core of your character sheet underneath languages.
Or
I do not.
traits?
But yeah,
Yeah, nothing.
you guys want to continue looking into the cave? It appears to be from where you're standing, it appears to be a steep slope going upwards, like 30 degrees maybe, between 20 and 45. It looks like a
Just
climb.
asking, the tracks leading to the cave or to the dock, just to double check.
They lead
the
in and
tracks
out of the
are,
cave.
Yeah, the tracks, they're not necessarily clean tracks, and they appear
Yeah.
to be going both directions. None feel particularly fresh.
Okay.
we know the way out, but we also know that she's not here. So we should go up north, I guess, or to the side or something like that.
We should maybe check the docks first before we get back up, since we're down here anyway. Maybe there's a
Okay.
usable boat too. Not like the
Oh.
last one.
Good
Oh.
idea, Kieran.
I'm sorry.
That's alright.
You're
Just
fine.
one that isn't as busted as the original one was.
All right,
Okay.
lead the way, Kieran.
So So you guys want to go down to the docks?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So you go down to the docks, and then it appears to be in like a mooring place for small boats.
Ha, ha,
They it has a slanted, like a very like shallow slope going into the water, so you can lower and raise like boats into
Boats.
the water via a like small wagon. And you see along like racks on the wall, like not on the wall. There are like there's been made like stone racks
Yeah.
on some of the sides of the docks where they appear to be holding very familiar canoes. It looks like the same stone canoes you guys used to cross over to this island right here.
Yeah.
Except they are whole. None of them have
Oh.
holes in them. Well, there may be a broken one that's fallen off the rocker, but other than that, those that hang on the edges are completely whole.
chill.
Hey,
Nice.
hey, the boats over here are completely intact.
Yeah.
There are no oars in sight, though.
Damn.
Oh, of course.
There's not even a place for oars to be stored. You can only imagine that the people who operated these boats either had their own oars or some other way of propelling the boats.
And there's nothing around here that we can use as
I mean,
a
you
makeshift
can
floor.
always use a stick or a branch like you did before.
We are not using Henry.
Ah, come on, man. Henry can drown.
Henry
It's
would be
fine.
able to give you the guff.
Yeah, he doesn't have the leaves or the branches. He's just a tiny little stick.
You'd be
a
surprised
little
how
twig.
strong Henry can be.
Henry's on the list of things to detect magic with.
Oh.
And it comes back up.
Anyways, we can easily take one of these boats, but without an oar, someone might have to kind of help push the boat. Actually, no, it's an even better idea.
I
The only
gave you
question is-
a handout of Henry Dane.
Oh, thank you. The only question is, and Karen will look over to...
Charon will look.
Sorry, Deanna will look to Karen. Deanna will look to Karen before he soon says, if I were to give you the rope and we were all to get into the boat, so long as I hold on to the rope and make sure, would you be able to kind of help us move the boat?
He stares at you flatly. You want me to pull a stone boat with 5 people in it,
And water, which actually has
in
less
water,
traction.
potentially against currents.
Sure, you can do it.
It's not going to be as bad as you think, as water doesn't really have that much traction unless we hit a current.
Which is the thing. If you hit a current, I can't fight a current while pulling all of you guys. You'll be stuck with the current then.
Could turn my phantom corporeal and have him help push the boat, and the two of you together.
Well, can your phantom swim?
I kind of
Yeah.
thought him being corporeal, he'd be floating under the water and pushing the boat, or floating over the water pushing the boat.
No, that'd be
That's incorporeal. He can't even
Yeah.
touch it still.
incorporeal then, and he wouldn't be able to touch the boat to move it then, would be the thing.
He needs to be incorporeal to float.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ectoplasmic
Okay.
the ectoplasmic version is subject to gravity.
Which is reasonable.
So he's throwing punches. Okay.
Yeah. It's all like when you're incorporeal, you can't be affected by things, and that's why you can float, but when you're corporeal, you're gravity and everything.
At the
Yeah.
moment, to the best of your guys' perception, you do notice that the
Hey, my
flow
phantom
appears
can
to be
swim.
going that way. Actually, let me make that a little more regular or small. The flow appears to be going this way.
Okay.
At the very least, that means that if we do set sail, we can probably use the current to go up this way. Let's head back straight towards the invisible bridge.
Last time you guys also checked, the current was going like this, like from where you were standing.
Okay.
So obviously we couldn't take the boat without proper care in order to go straight towards the Citadel carefully.
Citadel.
But
Metropolis.
yeah, but chances are we could just cruise in the boat heading north.
Yeah, but we
I
need
mean,
to be able to.
there are trees nearby. If you guys want to do it like last time and just grab a branch or like a makeshift door.
Yeah. There's also a thing like she was gonna say that if we're trying to find this girl, we have to be on land to see tracks, if anything.
That is true.
But you also have to remember that you have not seen any tracks.
Yeah, so far.
Except for yours up till now.
Yeah.
She might not have fallen down here.
Or she could have fallen on a different land piece too, depends.
Either
Yeah.
that or she could have been taken.
To the Metropolis.
Or she fell down and it went back up with the land that was going back up.
Everything's a possibility.
Which
Yeah.
is indeed a possibility. Hi, Greg.
So it depends. Do you want to try to take a boat and see if it gets us faster to the city, or do you want to keep going by foot?
I say we take the boat and we keep it along the coast like we did last time.
I still think that we need an oar.
Oh,
We need an oar. We need an oar.
A few, probably, if we're lucky.
Mm.
Just in case we need backups.
Does anyone happen to have a
Should I
spyglass?
chop down a few branches?
A spyglass?
No, those things
No.
are expensive.
Yeah, no shit. Like a spyglass, a bottom line spyglass costs 1,000 gold pieces.
It's just like, what? It's rich
Okay,
people
now I'll
stuff,
close my
man.
eyes.
Gold
Hey,
pieces.
hey, this is Deanna, the military commander we're talking about. Spyglasses were pretty much one of the things that they could afford because there's literally nothing else they could spend their money on.
Dane, who pays the military?
Man, the pampered son of a bitch.
Yeah, who pays the military? You get food and board, that's it. Come on, man.
Yeah, but we get our own shit from what we hunt. Anyways,
I don't think you hunt nobles for spyglasses, but yeah.
no, Deanna made enough.
So, is Dane saying he legit spent his gold on a spyglass? Is that what Dane's saying, or he's trying to get a spyglass for...
No, I'm saying he would, but he wouldn't keep it on hand.
Mm.
That's just
Okay, so Dane didn't get one. Got it.
Did Dane even have the money to do that?
Yes, he did.
If he used everything he had, then yes. Oh wait, you started third level. Never mind.
Yeah, if I actually would have had, a few thousand, but I spent it properly, my way.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
spyglasses would be military equipment, but Deanna was a military commander, so he didn't keep his because he's not a fucking scout. But now he knows no one else around him has a spyglass, so chances are, if we're going to travel, it might be wiser to do it via land just so we can keep an eye out for tracks.
Yes, but we still need a way across these bridges.
Well, didn't you say that there was an easier access point up north?
I don't know how to activate it.
no. What you saw up north was the channel was indeed like it looked very much more narrow. It didn't look like there was any construction across it, but it looks like a narrow passage you could potentially swim over.
Yeah.
Then again, you also could just coast in a boat.
We could, at the cost of not being able to identify tracks from a distance.
We'd also would still need the oars for the boat. We still need to prepare for it. I mean,
For any productive movement, yes.
So
Mhm.
let's take a
If
survey
you
now.
guys,
Travel by land.
I'm gonna say this: if you guys are gonna just float Lacey Susan style, you would move maybe about somewhere between walking speed and half walking speed.
That's fair.
Mm.
Yours? With our makeshift branches, will we go much faster?
If we
Yeah.
go along the current, yes.
Ooh, okay.
If we fight against the current, chances are our speed might be halved.
Mm.
Okay.
So
If you have
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna say it out now. If you guys are just doing lazy Susan style, 2 miles per hour. If you guys have something to row with, it's 6 miles per hour. So hustle.
Ooh.
But if you don't have proper roars, if you just have makeshift ones, then you have a negative to steering the boat.
Oh.
okay, so
But at least it's a higher bonus than if you were trying to steer the boat with no equipment whatsoever.
agreed. So let's take a survey now. All for traveling through sea.
We're traveling in the sea.
All traveling via
I'll
land.
fly either way, but
Aye. So Deanra's outvoted. Traveling via sea.
Mhm.
you mentioned earlier, well, that there may be some trees around or no.
He did.
No, there are
So
like if you look around, there definitely are trees. It's
Okay.
sparsely like it's not you're not in a wooded area.
Yeah.
This is not a heavily wooded area. Like looking at the distance, some of the places are definitely more heavily forested, but there
Mhm.
are like you can
Some.
walk like 200 meters in a direction and find a tree.
Okay. Because yeah, we may want to just like spend some time just to get some ores, just in case before we set off. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
would
part-
like
Oh,
to get
like
some more.
if you
Yeah.
if you put in half an hour, you can definitely get some makeshift oars.
Okay.
Okay.
I
I'm down for that.
would like to take 20 in order to get an ore.
Well, if you're talking about a craft check, Dane, that is not something you're allowed to do with a craft check. But you can definitely gather
Well-
like what you did before, gather 2 like branches with leaves on the end, or remove the leaves if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm saying about like
You
trying to
can
get
get
one
some
of
big
those.
sticks. You can gondola style it.
I'm more or less trying to go for the big stick, so that's what I'm taking 20 for.
And a cat is nibbling at my toes.
Hi, kitty.
Hello, kitty.
I'm trying to make him disappear into the
Some
microphone.
premium. Some premium content
Doesn't
I
want it.
think
for whoever's
aw.
streaming.
There he goes.
Destroy the
shit.
toes. Nah, the cat wouldn't kill his toes.
Nah, he just
It's
wants
not
a
his
little
cat
nibble.
though.
It's my
Oh,
brothers.
Yeah.
you hung up.
Regardless.
They are very, very cuddly with me though, but one of them thinks that
Aw.
biting my toes is a cuddly thing to do.
Fair enough. So-
What little shit.
So, anyways, so even though I did ask, I assume I'm not able to take 20 on trying to search for a big stick.
Oh, I mean, you can just find one. That's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to taking, you can take a 20 to finding a stick, but crafting it into a proper ore is a no-no.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm taking 20 to get a big enough stick for the boat.
Yeah, you guys take half an hour, and you guys now have 2 lovely big sticks to use with the boat.
So
Okay.
for Miguel and Perry purposes, taking 20 just means you're taking 20 times as long in order to perform a check, but you'll get the
Well,
result.
you say 20 times. I believe there are specific rules for how many times it technically takes. I want to say it's closer to like 30 times or whatever. I'm looking it up right now. But the basics of it is there's terms called take 20 and take 10. Taking 10 means that you have enough time to do it carefully and guarantee a roll of a 10 on the die. Taking 20 essentially means that you try and fail. Like, it's essentially the equivalent of rolling a lot of times to essentially assure rolling a 20.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's a try and fail method. A lot of skills
Also-
you can take a 10 on because you may have time to do it. Like, for example, taking a 10 on a craft check. But taking a 20, yeah, here we go.
It does take 20 times as long.
Okay.
So-
It's just when it comes to taking 10, it usually takes like 10 minutes or something. I don't know.
But the
It's
end results usually
interesting.
you get a pretty much the beneficial response that you want normally. Such as,
Yeah.
in this case, Deanna finding 2 big enough sticks to help us row the boat.
Basically, you took 20 on a perception check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now's the question.
Okay,
Do you
I
guys
got it.
want to go against the current, or do you guys want to go with the current?
With the current.
With the current.
Okay. In that case, I have no problems letting you guys just float wherever you want along the current without rolling, as well as steering in any given direction up to 30 degrees.
All right.
So, for example, if you guys can go up to there, no problem. But if you guys want to go any more to the left, you would have to roll a strength check with it.
Okay.
All right.
So,
So
I believe you guys should have access to just move this by yourself.
we did. I was able to move it. So
Yeah.
Deanna will then ask Charon and Vivian to be the charters for the course.
I mean, we can go to the right for a little bit longer.
So essentially, go between the two platforms we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going to the left would go much more out of the way.
I mean, we can keep going this way with the current until the current decides to change.
All right. And what about you, Charon?
May as well.
Logic would dictate that unless there is a much stronger current coming in the opposite direction, it's going to be you guys are going to go along with the current until the end of the edge. The potential ways where the current can change would be here, so going like that. That would be one potential way. Or it could change
What's
like
up,
over
wildcard?
here. So it could go like that and having it go this way. So up there, for example.
Oh, currently working with the other hunters. What's your
But yeah.
need?
You guys just want to hang around the edge while you guys float?
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking
we're
about
trying to stay closer to the
Greg? He's
edge.
here.
Which
up,
side?
Greg?
Right or left?
Greg.
I'd say left
Characters are
right now.
weird.
Our character's weird.
Okay.
I say left.
In that case, basically just tell me how long across the coast you guys want to go. You guys can see my ruler, right?
Names.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
So
Ours are the board.
6 miles. That is 1 hour.
okay. You do know the water's
You
direct
guys have
from
already
trying to
like
help chart our
done
course, right?
essentially half an hour or something like that today. Half an hour, an hour. And you guys can go.
Okay. Bye.
Do a quick math. I'm saying you can go 36 miles more, like in the
And yes,
boat,
Greg
by
does say he
actively
can hear
paddling
you.
if you guys want to. And after that, you're gonna have to rest for the night.
Okay.
So I
So-
do believe that means you guys can go basically the
20
entire
minutes.
length.
Yeah.
All right. Later,
Even
wildcard.
fighting the current?
No, if you're fighting the current, that's gonna be a bit different.
Sorry about that, everyone. Wildcard
Yeah, but
decided
if
to
you
come
guys
in.
want to try to get all the way over here, like to the Metropolis edge or whatever, that would basically be, I'm gonna say, your entire day's worth of travel, more or less.
Oh,
Maybe like
whoa.
you guys could travel a little bit more. If you happen to come across like the edge here, then yeah, definitely. If you guys are gonna have to fight all the way to the top against the current, that's gonna definitely leave you guys knackered at the end of the night.
All right then.
Yeah, but I guess the
So-
question is, do we want to be knackered or do we want to,
Drop off somewhere along this edge.
yeah.
We can
Yeah.
stop off just before too.
Probably
Something
wise
that
to
looks
drop off that
isolated.
edge.
It's a good
The most
idea.
logical place for you guys to stop, if you guys are going to stop along the way, it would either be on that shore or potentially this shore, like either or.
Yeah,
Other
so.
than that,
I'm just thinking
If
here
you're just
because there's a
drifting, you can right
mountain
and
range
shift so you can
in
keep going
between
through
the
map.
rest of this part of the
That's a
land
good
and
idea,
the,
Lucian.
and the citadel.
That is a good idea, but also
Oh,
keep
that's
it to the
true. We'd
fact
have to
that
climb the
Or if we-
mountain.
Yeah, fuck
Or if we
that.
stop here, maybe we're still close enough to the water that we can take the boat around the
Rest
mountain.
up.
also keep in
Yeah.
fact
Or even
that,
here.
that
Any
Well,
of these
I
little
guess
islands
it's
seem
really-
isolated.
most of
It
us don't really
depends on
trust
what
each
we
other
see on
fully
our
yet.
way up, honestly, for me to make
Oh,
my opinion.
you're
Because if
right.
there's
I
more
can't
bridges
see
like
them up.
that, then if there's more bridges like that, then we might be fucked.
Mm.
Let's see.
What if we just close along the coast, hope we don't run into any other problems, and we figure out where we're gonna stop as the day ends? We can end
Yeah.
a little bit earlier or end wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and just actively looking around too, because who knows versus landing here versus here, whatever, how it looks when we get to that point too.
indeed.
Exactly.
So let's just
Yeah.
go into that point where you guys pointed out. It is a rather smooth sail. And you guys are going with the current the entire way.
So, Azra,
What's up?
Deanna will hand him one of the big sticks. You're helping me oar.
Alright, let's get it, bro. Let's get lit.
So, you guys are drifting, you're going along with the flow, you're doing a little bit of incidental rowing here and there as well. And you get to here. You see the potential to go essentially just go to the go to land if you want to.
Oh, here's another thing to consider too, by the way, guys. How many rations do you guys got left?
A bunch.
That's very astute of you.
I only have three.
Also, yes, that is very important to ask of you guys. What are you guys doing food wise and water wise?
Well, water-wise, at the very least, we don't have to worry too much because Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
But Deanna would have at least been munching on his day's ration.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
never
Keep in
decided how
mind-
many rations I was buying. God damn it.
I just have the standard
I
pack
mean-
one, so
I would imagine for the excursion you guys were planning, like looking for a lost person, I would allow you to retroactively buy up to 10. That would be a reasonable amount of days for the level of excursion you guys were doing, like maximum.
Deanna is now down to
Okay.
4 days worth of trail rations.
I'm gonna say that Karen is at 3 just because he was expecting overland where we can actually hunt versus underground, so he didn't pack
Well,
as
you
many as
guys
he
can
could
I
have.
mean, we were
Here as
able to
well.
hunt down here.
No, that's what I'm thinking of doing too if we land early. So,
Yeah.
but
So
say we're at this point. If I went to perception just to like scout the shore, what would I see?
no, like it looks like a sandy bank. You guys can get across easily, like at least at one point here, like sort of the middle.
Okay.
This looks to be like definitely cracky around here. It gets
Yeah.
like easier to get across here. Like it's almost like beach level there, and then it gets like rougher again.
Fire
over here.
again.
So I have a total of 13 days of rations.
Wow.
We can take
Yeah,
the
it's-
boat a little bit further along the coast and drop it off here.
Yeah, but you guys just want to like
Yeah.
land for a bit just to like stretch our legs again, maybe see what we can find and then continue on.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take a rough estimate on how long you guys took traveling.
Okay.
That would be. I'm gonna call that a 3-hour travel.
Yeah, I like your sort. Definitely stretchment.
So going by our rules for
Mhm.
traveling for overland travel, you guys have traveled for 1 hour, or 4 hours today.
Yeah.
So you have 4 hours more of travel.
Okay.
Let's stop here for a moment. Azra, come on.
Okay.
If you guys want to stop here, and hunt and get some food, you guys would have 2 more hours left off. No way. When hunting,
No way.
that was essentially half your travel. So yeah, if you guys are going to stop here and hunt for food, that's going to be the end of your travel today.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna gather on a bit potentially just first, before anything else. Like the
I
nearby area, not too far away.
You wanna
are we
fly a bit?
camping here?
I will say, if you're gonna fly about, that is gonna exclude you from any potential hunting.
That's fine.
Okay.
So, do we need to make a strength check to dock? Considering the fact that we're going to the
You're going against the
side?
current, and you're just essentially beaching yourselves. Easy as that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Beach.
Okay.
Alright.
So you get ashore, and you want to fly about a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, I don't know how extraneous it is for flight and such, but I'm gonna give you a 1.5 to 2 mile radius for like fly and return.
Okay.
So like a total of let's call it 3 miles total travel.
Beach.
So you
Gotcha.
can either like point to a direction then back that you want to fly, or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say like
I'm deducting
midway,
1
like this
mile
way.
because of vertical movement.
Okay. Yeah, I would say like in this direction, just the middle of the way.
Okay.
While he's doing that, Deanna will forage for food.
Okay. Those who want to forage for food, please roll me a survival check. Those who want to aid, please tell me if you want to aid and who you want to aid. Those who want to aid must do so before the roller rolls. Aiding is a DC 10 roll and will grant a +2 to the roller. Actually, I'm gonna go so far as to say to make it even more fun. You only get 1 survival check for food, and those who want to help out aid the main person who rolls.
You know what? I
Actually-
think I'm gonna just set up the camp.
I'll help.
Actually,
any
I was
camp here?
gonna
Okay.
set up the camp. I was gonna turn my ghost corporeal and have him help me set up the camp.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was
my
actually
hat
gonna
in
ask
with
something
idea.
very specific rather than just survival.
Go ahead.
Is it alright if I substitute knowledge nature for, fruits and herbs for food?
That will still be survival.
Okay.
You can have all the knowledge you want, but you still gotta like
Find
see
it.
them in reality, basically.
Alright then. Who's ever assisting might as well roll first.
If you had
It's Azrael, I
Profession
believe.
Hunter,
Yeah.
if you had Profession Hunter, I would imagine it. I would also like if you were specifically hunting for animals, I might conceivably allow like Proficient Soldier with a negative to it. But just plain like knowledge nature, like look at it this way: are you book smart to the point of a wizard of 20 intelligence, where you can tell like people about a specific fruit, what it looks like and how it grows, and what it looks like when
No.
it's ripe, like down to photographic memory?
No. I'm a military commander, not a
Then-
bookman.
If you had a book of if you had specifically a book of wild berries, I would allow a knowledge nature. But yeah.
Alright then. Azure, or whoever's helping me with survival, roll.
How do I
Man, you
roll
said
it?
his
Is
name
it
like
slash
3
roll
different
slash
times
20?
differently.
You
I
just
can't
roll
help it.
survive on the skill sheet, so near the bottom.
Wait, how do I roll the D20? What do I type in
You-
the chat again?
You just roll
You click
survival. You just roll survival.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
The DC to hit is at 10.
Alright.
So who is rolling and who is aiding?
Azrael's aiding, Deanna rolling.
Okay. Dienro gets a +2.
Maybe it should have been the other way around.
Yeah, that's why I avoid helping, honestly, but yeah.
So that's a
Oh
10.
shit!
And you get food for 1 person.
Wow. That's lovely.
Vivian starts making ration soup.
Russians.
So
Yeah.
Deanna will
I mean,
bring.
look at it this way: you have dried nuts and fruit and cheese and stuff like that. You're making a kick-ass stew out of the rations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you boil the meat to make a broth.
So with the fact that Azure did help him, and Deanna did manage to find this, he's going to hold it up to Azure. Here, you take it.
So basically, you guys spend 2 hours lurking in the woods, and you find I'm gonna say, actually, no, I have an auto table. Let's see.
It's got an auto
Monsters,
table for when
animal.
we find food.
Actually, I thought there was.
You find
Okay, here
dingleberries.
we go.
No. Oh God, no.
Actually, you find a little deer, like a small deer. That's all you find, like a baby one.
You had to say a fucking baby deer.
Yep. Had to make
There's
morality.
2 rabbits, and I think the other one would be a bit more filling.
Time for some veal.
Well, we know what Azra's doing.
Sweet veal.
Okay,
We know what Azra's
over
doing.
Over to Sharon and his scouting.
Yeah.
Please roll me. Roll me a perception, and because of high ground, I'm giving you a +6.
Okay.
It's over, Overland.
18
I have the high
in
ground.
total.
Okay, so you do notice that over here there's a similar. There is a similar like thing to what you guys are landing on. It's a sort of a beachy area.
Okay.
You see, like all of this over here is a sheer cliff.
Okay.
All of
Gotcha.
this is a raised area. Over here,
Oh, okay.
you see there's like a hillish area that is sort of cresting one part of the city. It could potentially be a way in.
Gotcha.
Over here, you see some very, very grandiose gates. Essentially, the entirety of this island is like a landing platform. And
Okay.
you see a familiar platformish shape over here.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so just to,
But
just
that
gonna
is, like-
reiterate to, yeah.
Yeah,
Just gonna
that's
reiterate
it.
to clarify for me. So there's another sandy area here if we want to, and we can land here. This
Yes.
entire wall here is like sheer cliffs. There's a hill cresting here. So does it look like it's gonna stay raised, or we can't really land here, or?
No, it's like over here. It is
Yeah,
raised,
over here.
Like this is still like
Yeah.
a check. Like I'm not saying cresting. It is cresting up on the edge of like one of the.
Oh,
city
okay,
walls.
gotcha. So then by
you
sea
could
won't work for
potentially-
what we're planning.
You could potentially land here.
Yeah, and then go
You've
by
got
land.
This over here as well. That is a steep. Like these are cliffs.
Yeah.
Like cliffs as well. But
Gotcha,
there's a
gotcha.
very small passage
God
going up
damn.
between them.
Okay.
So you could potentially climb up and get over the city walls over here.
Okay,
Other
gotcha.
than that, over this way,
Mm-hmm.
you basically see there are some grand entrances.
Okay.
And
Very grand.
yeah, these look very much like the platform you guys just came from, where
Okay.
most likely is one of those invisible bridges.
Bridges, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Alright.
On-
That's useful.
The only thing being that on one end, it looks way more grandiose than on the other.
Yeah. Oh, also, since you mentioned the gates, are the gates, like, closed on this part, or are they open?
They have to be. have
They
to be
look
closed,
wide
right?
open.
Wide open, okay.
What?
Gotcha.
It just
Alright.
looks like an arch.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
if the
okay,
gates
okay.
aren't, you don't know. It just looks like an
Yeah.
open arch.
It looks like it could be closed, but it's an arch. Okay, gotcha.
It's an arch. It's just an arch.
Okay. Yeah, no, then I would come back and mention to them that if we want to continue further down the river, lake, whatever this is, there's another landing pad over here. But realistically, to actually get to the city, we're gonna have to go by land at some point. Whether we want to go from this end or row for a bit
Well,
and
you
start
don't
from there.
know about this end yet. You
Yeah, no,
can't
I'm just
see
saying
over
from what
there.
I'm just saying from what he sees so far, like the nearest points
Actually,
that he
yeah,
sees to the city.
From where you stand, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it to the point where you do know about these land masses,
Okay.
and that like it looks like it might connect over here.
Okay, gotcha.
And you also do see there's like land behind over here.
Okay.
But for example,
Alright.
you wouldn't necessarily know about these places because
Yeah, the exact
yeah.
thing once they're close to them, still pretty far, so
The only reason I'm not using Fog of War is because it just looks better like this. It's leaving.
yeah, it does. Okay.
So
Then, yeah, I'll explain that I see like 3 potential ways in.
Yeah.
If
well,
we want to continue by like sea, we can maybe reach a point that could work. I'm not entirely sure. There seems to be a land route through like craggy area,
Oh wait, let's do it this one instead.
and there seems to be another invisible bridges to like the main entrance of the city. It seems like that's also further on land.
I see.
Unfortunately, we don't know the password for that.
Yeah,
I kind of like the cliff one where we have to take the little pass.
It seems our
the
best
cliff
bet-
one does seem most well. Go ahead, Deanna.
Well, as I was about to say, I'm kind of with Ulan on this one. It seems like it's the best path to take the cliff.
Azray.
Azray, sorry. Hurry the
No,
platforms.
I wanted some credit.
You want to steal the
Whatever. I'm
credit?
just in the back.
Yeah.
I'm just in the back putting up the text. Oh, you better say
Yeah.
thank you for that.
The cliff, I agree,
Regardless.
does seem the most likely one and the easiest for us to get to.
However, we
I'm
also
fine with that.
However, there is something else we do need to take into consideration if we do take that path.
Yeah.
The moment we get up there, and if we can see inside the Metropolis, we need to survey the situation and see how the what's the fucking word for it? The society is in there. If they try, I've been to some place. I remember being in some places where they usually try and keep track as to who's going in and out of town.
Well,
Those are mostly military
depends.
controlled areas.
I see their
But
gates is
is there
wide
any
open
people?
for the main entrance, at least.
It looks abandoned.
At least I think it's a gate, but I'm not sure. But it's wide open. There's no closed gates or anything from the main entrance, at least.
How high above above the ground were you flying, Sharon?
Let me see. What would you think is realistic to see as far as I could? Honestly, I'll go with that because you would have
As
flown
high as
high
you
enough
could
to like
would be
just to
this-
see.
As high as you could will be the ceiling. And I know
I
what
wouldn't
I've
say the
said
ceiling.
About,
It's
about
too high.
the, I know what I said about the ceiling before, and
Mhm.
I do believe that I maybe undershot it a little bit.
Okay.
Realistically speaking, I would imagine like floor to ceiling here would be like 1,000 feet.
Okay, then I would say. How tall would you say like the tallest building in that, or the walls of the Metropolis are? Would you say?
That is very loud.
Hell?
Yep. Parrot.
Hey, I thought I had my shit muted.
No. But yeah, I would say like
I mean,
high enough to be higher than the cliffs, maybe the city walls, around that
I'm
level.
gonna say like this: to be equal, to be looking equal-ish with the top of the city walls, the highest spire in the city almost touches the ceiling.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that is like the complete center of the metropolis almost touches the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And the walls around it, they reach like almost. You would approximate you maybe flying like
Mm-hmm.
in the snacked up middle of the cavern, like
Oh, wow.
somewhere between 300 and 600 feet.
Gotcha.
You can't
Okay.
necessarily tell, but an approximation between 300 and 600 feet are the height of the walls.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are high walls.
That would also mean that those are extremely high cliffs then.
Yeah.
It is a variation, like all around you. Like there are very much, like just bullshitting it basically. Over here, it's maybe like 150, 200, like above the water level,
Yeah.
something like that. To playing again, like down here was about
Mm-hmm.
150 feet.
Okay. But yeah, cliffs and the city walls are pretty high if we take that route. So it's probably gonna take a bit to actually reach that point.
Can you carry us one by one up the cliff?
No.
Not all of you for sure.
No.
I can
Vivian
maybe carry
without armor,
Vivian.
maybe.
Yeah, Vivian maybe, but the rest of you no.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't mind not having to walk, but
Look at
so
it this
much.
way. If you guys are gonna go rock climbing, you have the perfect guy to set up like climbing points with the rope.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so
But
you
yeah.
could assist us in our climb.
Yeah, I could help you. If one of you falls, I can try to grab you, slow it down so you don't die. But yeah, it
We can do
depends.
that. We could spend half the next day climbing up that mountain.
But Yeah, it just depends what we want to do. Because we could try to do the cliff mountain climbing. We could go the longer way and maybe try to figure out those bridges that way. Maybe it works there versus the other one. I don't know.
Or if it doesn't work, we'd have to come back around to climb, or go
Yeah.
through the water and then see what.
Yeah, or go
area
through
is
water
made
and
out
see
of.
what's over there, yeah.
I think
We have a few options for how to approach it. Just, yeah.
we do. And I think I know which option will probably be our best bet.
What do you think?
I'm thinking the front gates. Mostly because
Front gates?
Most because even if we were to set up a small climbing setup for that cliff over there that you're talking about, there's
Yeah.
still, but their chances of us still falling and taking a massive amount of damage is still higher than if we were to just try and figure out a bridge.
Yeah, it's also not the, for better or worse, intended way into there, which I didn't see a kind of gates kind of deal like on the cliff path and over there, so there's also no guarantee once you reach the top that's going to be the easiest way into the city too.
To give you some information, more information about the entrance
Yeah.
of the gate. So the platforms themselves were raised.
Yeah.
But there was like a little bit here
Mhm.
where you could potentially get across, like in the water, like on a boat, potentially,
Okay.
maybe. But you would have like, you don't know if there are any other boats nearby. You might have
Yeah.
to bring your own.
And lugging your own boat would take a while too.
How heavy is the stone boat that we used?
I would say if 3 of you go together, you could carry it without being encumbered.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
Actually, fuck it,
I
let's make
will
it even.
mention
4.
that unfortunately I cannot help with that.
it's fine.
Unfortunately.
Alright,
but
Look at it this way: if 4 of you carry it, Vivian can stand on top and be a lookout.
So 𝓮𝓵𝓷, 𝓮𝓵, 𝓵𝓚, and the Phantom. That might work.
Scout too then that way. But yeah, we could
Yeah.
just carry the boat there too in case the bridge doesn't work and try to cross. There's seen to your point we could potentially land in the water, so
Then
If 3 or more people insist in helping assist in holding the boat, you can travel at normal land speed without penalty. If you are gonna move faster than normal walking speed, I am gonna have you guys be subjected to essentially going further. Like for example, I'm gonna be halving your effective travel,
Okay,
travel
gotcha.
hours. If you are running, if you are hustling with the boat, basically if you're gonna go you can go 3 miles in half an hour, but if you want to go another half an hour, then you're gonna take 1 lethal damage, and if you go another half an hour, you're gonna take 1 non-lethal damage. Basically,
Okay.
1 half an hour free. Every half an hour after that is gonna be 1 non-lethal damage. And if you're gonna travel normal walking speed, I'm gonna say yeah, sure, go for it. Regular, no penalty.
Okay.
Given, of course, there are 3 more people carrying the boat.
Yeah.
yeah, I think our
It's just people running together, holding one object. That's gonna be mentally
Yeah.
taxing. So that's why
So-
I'm imposing the penalty on hustle and not walking.
Yeah.
so
So then what do you all think then? We got 3 options, 3 different ways to do it.
I think our safest bet's definitely going via land at this point towards the gate.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like this: if you guys, for example, if you guys like maybe go over here, get on the boat, get in the water, you'd be at the very least, you could be after 1 more day's travel, you could be at the foot of the Metropolis.
Sure.
Vivian, 𝓵𝓚, 𝓮𝓵, your thoughts?
We can try that
Down.
and see the gate from the side we want to be on instead of going around, hoping that
Yeah.
it works, and then doing that.
Mm-hmm. My only concern though is the side of things that we're seeing more and more of these bridges and gates.
And
I'm
we
just
don't know
worried
how to use them.
and I'm just worried there's similar magic in the city that we're gonna come across and also not know how to use them.
Possibly.
Definitely.
Heron,
Yeah.
what's the current? Sorry, brain's not functioning today. What's the landscape look like up ahead this way?
Well, ducked.
Come again?
He was
Just doing
asking.
preliminary warring.
Yeah, it's like he was asking what's the landscape look like up to this point, essentially.
There is, it's sort of like lowish on that area and a bit more
Mhm.
high on that area. It's sort of like an uneven
Slopes.
going slope
Yeah.
to that way.
So it's a
And
it's a hillis
inversely
zone.
so. Eh?
It's a hillis type zone with sheer cliffs up ahead.
It's a little bit patchy between hill and like hill and incline. It looks
Okay.
like at some point it might have been farmland, maybe.
Maybe,
It's
okay.
hard to look when
Yeah.
hard to look exactly because it looks a bit. It looks like an amalgamation of overworld and underground. So
Yeah.
it might have at one point been used as an agri field, maybe.
Okay.
Then if we were to camp, our best point wouldn't be at the water's edge. Our best place for a strategic camp to make sure that we can at least keep an eye on all of our surroundings would be at the very least the top of a hill.
Which,
Yeah.
if you want to do that, you're gonna have to go all the way up here, or up against the wall over here. I will say this, there are, like, across the landscape, there are large boulders. So if you want to have, like, a solid rock against your back, you can find it.
Yeah, I think our best bet is to cut across as fast as we can because one, we're still trying to find where this woman landed, and I don't even know if she landed this far up or she's somewhere back down there, if she even landed here at all. Two, those creatures knows how to use the bridge, and I don't know if there's more of them or not too.
And three, and most importantly, we don't know all the creatures down here, so we can be attacked. So we can be.
So I'd
attacked from
rather,
any angle.
yeah, I'd rather, regardless of where we go, just try to go as fast as possible through this to get past it.
Alright. Then our best bet would probably be to stop by that sheer cliff that you were talking about that goes through the hill. Head there, set up camp with the boat with us, and we go from there.
And I can turn my ghost corporeal to help carry the boat.
Yep. Yeah, either way, we still have to just reach that point before we even figure out what to do next, but yeah.
Great. Any objections?
Sound good to everyone else?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's fine.
Alright then. Ajay, hold on. Let's carry this.
Wait, we're
Hell yeah.
resting, dude. Remember?
You can
Well,
carry in a
he's
bit to
calling
get to
us.
like a proper resting space.
Yeah.
Basically, just getting up to a rock, essentially, up against the like a little bit inland.
Yeah, we're pretty much spending the rest of our travel time of the day to get to here. And then we're gonna actually rest.
Well, here / closer, either one. Just this area.
Alright, come on guys.
Ooh.
Exertion sound.
Vivian, Kara, you're our eyes for now.
Alright.
Okay, roll me perception
Try.
checks as you guys walk, I suppose.
No.
Yes.
In the distance, you do spot a. In the distance, you do spot like a little pack of dogs? Question mark.
No.
They look like dogs. But yeah, they appear to be meandering about a bit, going in the same way you are.
Pack
So
of
if you speed up,
dogs
you might
ahead.
cut up to them, or if you want to, you can just sit still and let them essentially
Let them.
pass.
I see a pack of dogs going ahead. Just like a rough estimate, how much do I think the roughly number are?
Before we get that far, you
Okay.
guys can get to here because you guys hunted and you guys are resting.
Yeah.
But you guys can move further inland after you guys have rested.
Okay. I
But
see a yeah.
From what you rolled there, we'll leave
Mhm.
that for tomorrow. For right now, who is standing watch and in what order?
I'll
We're
do.
actually resting.
Wait,
I'll-
wait.
Yes.
Oh, actually,
So as I'm carrying the boat,
I mean, you
I
guys, if you
feel a
guys want to go
shadowy
further,
tendon.
I mean, you
Shadow.
guys can go further if you want to, but it is going to be at the risk of non-lethal damage per hour traveled.
Gotcha. What were you saying, Elon?
Referring to the
I was saying-
overlap travel rules.
Okay.
If you guys want to go, per 3 miles, you are going to take 1d6 non-lethal damage. If you do not make a DC Constitution check.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So, you guys want to stop and rest, or you
Okay,
guys
so
want
this
to
is
keep
the-
on traveling?
What were you gonna say, Elon?
I was gonna say I feel a shadowy tendency taking me, and I disappear from the game because I gotta go. Because for the past hour and a half, my family has been telling me that they need me for something.
Damn it,
Okay,
dude.
that's
No. All right, man. It's been fun.
That
Actually,
was me
speaking of
out.
which, speaking of
It
which,
was fun.
how is everyone else looking time-wise?
Always a pleasure.
I am pretty
I'm
sure
good to continue.
I'm sleepy, but okay.
Oh, good.
Actually, if you're still here, did I leave? Are you still here?
No, I'm still
That's-
here. I didn't leave
yeah.
immediately.
Okay, because before you leave, I would like to give you experience before you go.
Oh, hey.
Up until now, to this point, because of roleplay and stuff like that, I do believe I will award you, let's call it 500 XP.
each.
I think
Yeah,
it's him
because
for
he's
now.
leaving
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, just him
Wait,
for
We'll
now.
get more than
You
that.
cut out a little bit for me. I didn't hear
500.
anything.
You have 500 XP.
500?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
that goes here in current in the thing like that. So anything like I see you have a EXP listed here in notes.
Yeah,
have
I was
you
gonna
added
actually
that to
ask
your
you
core
that.
yet?
Nope. That's what I was gonna ask you today at the end, but I had to go. So where
In
do I
that
add that?
case,
Or-
let's see here. So that's 4,000.
It's 1,500.
1,000 plus. So it would be 3,000. You would have 4,600 then in that case.
400 off from level up.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Because the
I'm
next
close.
level is
I need 400 more.
5,000.
I need 400 more to level up.
Yep, you're almost there.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Session.
Alright, man.
Okay,
Be
thank you
safe.
guys, but I really do gotta go.
Yeah, be safe, dude.
It was fun.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to next time. Though there's a chance. There won't be a session next time, but I will not know until the end of the week.
Yeah, just let us
Oh,
know once
okay.
you figure out. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright, I'm gonna go. Bye, you guys.
Alright, later, dude.
Peace out, Miguel.
So,
Wait, I just realized what that means, though, by the way, first.
That does mean that
animals-
3 people are gonna have to carry the boat.
Yep.
Oh shit. Oh
however,
shit.
because of the fact that we were choosing to rest, Deanna's gonna set the boat down before he soon says, "Alright, this is gonna be a bit of a hassle. We should probably rest."
Yeah.
So, just as a note for you guys, too, by the way, there is a pack of dogs, I think, up ahead that seems to be headed the direction we're headed.
That is something
They
that
passed
is something
us?
that you notice tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So that's when we start traveling with the boat.
Yes.
So for now, General will take first watch. As is usual.
Okay.
I'll take the second.
Second watch is.
I'll take it.
Is Perry the Platypus.
I'll take the last.
Azrael, second
I'll take the last
Third
watch.
watch is Sharon. Okay.
Yeah.
You get a pretty nice rest without anything to worry about.
Except for being attacked because she doesn't have sleeping armor.
True.
Deanra, roll me perception check if you want to. You don't have to, but I would strongly suggest it.
I mean, he is going to. He is going to roll perception.
Actually, before you go to bed,
Oh.
are there any magical items you have yet to find out
Oh,
about
true,
that you want to check?
Yes. Trying to remember.
There's.
I
do
got the
believe
dagger.
The only one you have left to check out at the moment, you have a suspicion about Henry.
Yeah.
Here.
I know it's a
take a look at
dynamite, but
Henry.
I didn't find a proper stick.
That's fine. I saw something better.
Okay.
Yeah, give
So
me
I
a,
will
uh,
take a look at
me-
Henry.
Give me a spellcraft check because Henry is magical.
Yes.
He is exuding evocation aura.
Okay.
I love
That
the
my-
fact that we've now given Henry a gender.
It's not enough, but it's an
Well, he
18.
called him. I'm just assuming
was Henry.
because Henry is usually a masculine
name.
name, so I'm just assuming he now.
Fair enough.
Usually.
We're gonna keep Henry as that.
He is Henry the Unburned Stick.
I am just gonna go and double check something because.
Forget the last
I
name, though.
forget-
It's Henry Stickmin.
No, that's,
Pretty
No,
sure
that's
you need
copyrighted.
A
Let's see for these, huh?
Dane's the one who's made the reference.
I
To the
called
plane.
Him, I called him Henry. That is
Yes, and you mentioned him stealing a plane.
Check it. I'm
That's fair.
just gonna say, I think you're old enough to notice it. This little branch that you guys pulled off a tree, for some reason, I don't know if it might, you don't know what happened, like maybe it was proximity of something magical, or maybe it was the stick itself was particularly magical, or the wood down here simply has been irradiated. But this little Henry, for all intents and purposes, now functions as a wand of scorching ray
Oh,
that has 5 charges in it.
So
What?
Deandra
What?
has a fucking scorching ray stick.
Bro. Yeah.
You can't
It's a
use.
stick,
He can't
It's a
use it,
fu-
but he likes it.
but it's there.
It functions as a wand of scorching ray. To activate it, you are going to use a use magic device. I do believe there is a chance that Azrael might actually be able to use it. I need to double check that.
What?
Actually, he can because it uses the sorcerer spell list.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Blood Rager. So technically,
Oh, what?
I want to say that he can use it with a very low use magic device check.
he just needs to put
Yeah,
skill points into
But
it.
does he have a skill in it?
I think actually, never mind.
Wait. Can
Usually,
Deandra
if
use
it's
it
on
at
your
all?
spell list, you can use it.
Yeah.
If
I
you have
forget
used
how
magic
that
device, you
goes.
can attempt to.
I do believe,
attempt
like,
to, okay.
technically you have to emulate level, which is like a DC 5 or something like that.
I forget. Let me check the actual skill code. I think it says it there for use
So,
magic device.
So thankfully we do have Lucian here, who is also trying to say and help. With use magic device check of 10 plus the spell level, if it's on the spell list of class, there is no check necessary.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, Azrael can use Henry if he wants to with no problem.
Wow.
but if I want to
Wow.
use
Is
Henry,
a-
I need a use magic device check.
Yeah.
What?
But the thing is, as I mentioned, like when it comes to it, there's going to be some caveats to it from what I.
You can cause a magic device to mishap as a purposefully?
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can make it mishap purposefully.
I'm
But
just
there's a
looking at the
chance that you
D20
can
right now.
activate it.
That it says cause mishap. You can intentionally cause a magic item to produce a mishap.
So I'm
Attempting
taking
to
a
create a
look at what
mishap is like
Scorching Ray
activating blindly. Yeah. It's a DC 30 though, so it's very hard to do.
Use wand is a DC 20, yeah. So if you want to use the wand, you have to roll a DC 20 use magic device.
So I can only assume that with what I'm reading for Scorching Ray, it's only going to benefit Azrael to cast more than one ray.
Mhm.
Well, it's a wand of 3rd level.
Does it recharge?
And the level stays static, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
And
stay
it
static.
does not recharge. It has 5
Oh.
charges, meaning that you can use
Oh.
Scorching Ray 5 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know,
It's useful. When you run out of spells, that's a good backup.
it is,
Or
it
just
is
a
good,
powerful opening too.
but
That's
also
It's a nice fuck you.
Yeah, it is.
Also, I just
Yeah.
want this. Also, I kind of want to keep it because it's a fucking gun as a stick. Let's be honest here.
As long as you invest, use magic device thing.
It's a
As long
ray
as you
gun.
invest
It's
into it.
yours.
Which I will. I will have
Okay.
my points in use magic
Yeah.
device.
As long as you invest in it, I'm fine with you keeping it.
And I'm going to fucking use it as a gun.
Do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
but
I am down.
Dane. You're gonna be able to use it 5 times, and then Henry's gonna be burnt out.
Yeah, I'm still gonna
And then you
keep
get hit by the
Henry.
drawback.
Is he
I'm still gonna be.
spontaneously combust?
I'm still gonna enjoy keeping Henry the stick, even once he's out of magic.
I'm gonna tell you this though. From how I know wands, when a wand is burnt out, you can use it as a component to craft a new wand.
It's true.
Because otherwise, like a wizard can be bonded with a wand or a staff. If the wizard is bonded with a wand and the wand is like used up, how in the world how are they gonna keep that bonded item without like destroying it and bonding with a new item by cost?
Can recharge by
bonded
spending
up-
EXP. I'm not spending EXP on recharging Henry.
No,
What
you,
the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, we can make that a fun little thing. We are like tracking in EXP individually.
We
so-
are tracking experience, but I would like to not use experience to recharge a wand.
Now is a nice time to remind you, Dane. We are playing with the rule of retraining. So you can, if you pay the price, you can pay to retrain some of your skills into use magic device if you want to.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I specifically asked about retraining in case of
You know,
in case
no.
I lose my paladin level.
No, I'm not gonna retrain right now, so we're good. I am keeping
Yeah.
Henry though, after being told it's a wand of scorching ray. General Sensei
with five
That's
5 charges.
with 5 shards. That's amazing to know. Thank you, Vivian.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm gonna keep Henry though.
Roll for
Can you
delusion.
use Henry?
Roll to see how long it is before you roll to see how long it is before you go crazy and just start calling instead. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's been long enough time to say this. Vivian, you've been feeling kind of queasy ever since you drank the water.
Oh no.
Oh,
But that
no.
feeling has slowly been going away because you're a paladin, you have divine health. The water may be fresh, but there is something strange in it that's been growing in you and got to the point where your god kicked in and kicked it out.
Ooh.
There is
Also,
something
maybe
in the
you
water.
shouldn't drink the water.
From the rock or from here?
From here.
Is Deanna just
Yeah.
watching her vomit, I assume?
No.
No.
Okay.
She's a paladin, she has divine health. Not even mummy rot can touch her.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
The disease
Yeah.
gets
So-
disintegrated, but yeah.
So it's something that just vanished from her. Ah,
For the
Fair
enough.
for the purpose of like, I mean, I would imagine you can still with divine health you can still feel weird, but when it gets to the point where it would be debilitating or like the proper sickness would kick in, I would imagine that the divine health would start kicking in as well. So you would start to feel weird, like it started happening like the night after you drank the water, and now it's been going away now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you
my
don't know-
tummy's felt a little grumbly, but I'm
You
fine.
don't know what it is. You don't know exactly what the disease was, but drinking the water should be a last second resort.
Yeah.
At least
from-
without boiling it first. I'm still
but-
surprised no one except the paladin drank the water.
it's hilarious. Anyways, let's refocus.
GM,
Yeah?
I would like to make something overnight. Since they are doing resting.
Okay.
You want to make sleep armor, don't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Since they caught a small deer, I would like to use the bones in my pot to make portable soup.
Portable soup.
Yes.
As in, you want to fill the bones with soup?
No, I
No.
said she's doing what most cooks do and turning the bone into broth.
Ah,
You
you're
turn
essentially-
the bone into broth.
You're essentially turning it into broth powder.
It ends up being more like broth leather. I saw it on a not medieval, but like a colonial YouTube channel.
Hey, you're essentially you're boiling all the water out, essentially.
I'm making basically something that you can rip up and stick in a pot
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
for food.
I getcha.
And it works because doing that. Yeah, basically
I
bullying.
would. I would allow you to get essentially. Yeah, if you combine it, with if you can combine it with easily forageable, easily forageable stuff, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
the next time you go scavenge, you can add a +1 person, to the result from that.
Yeah.
If you succeed, I'm gonna call it let's call it a DC 14. And it's going to be a cooking check, so it's going to be either a wisdom, survival, or a profession chef.
Well, we're gonna try this survival check.
If you have something else you want to think of, they want to suggest, you're free to say so. Like, if you want to make it a craft alchemy, I could allow that as well, because let's face it, cooking is alchemy, modern day alchemy.
Boolean.
Look, I don't have a craft. I don't have a profession. My profession is adventurer, or is a hero.
No, your profession is frog.
Ribbit.
Ribbit.
I would say if anything, your profession would be.
I didn't get it.
If anything.
You did not make boolean.
Yeah.
Aww.
I burnt it.
Let's see. What was this that you said again? 12? 13?
You said 14.
14? Yeah, that just barely makes it out of the way. Like, we destroy the materials. Sorry.
That's fine.
You have the pot too close to the heat, and you manage to burn the bullion.
Her profession is Jiminy Cricket.
To be fair, she's a paladin.
I get
But yeah.
2. I get 2 skills a level.
So, Deanna, did you already roll a perception check for the night with a 25?
Yeah, that was the perception check for the night, and then we went on
You
to
noticed
spellcraft and
nothing.
survival.
Oh,
That's
fair.
right. Do you
I
want to
am
roll
going.
perception for the night?
Yep, I'm going to it.
I
As
still
Deanna
forgot to
attacks
put in-
out, lays down, goes to sleep.
16.
You are partially distracted by the snoring of Deanna. Other than that, you don't notice anything else in the night. A tree shakes its leaves and a stick falls by your feet, but other than that, nothing.
Pick up the stick. It could be magical.
Oh my god. Just replace Henry at the stick. I'll never notice.
Oh my god, no, I could never do such a thing. I could never separate a man from his stick.
Okay. That's all you want to do on your watch?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Sharon, your turn.
Alright.
Last watch.
Let's see what happens.
I'm up with Sharon,
Skills.
and I'm doing my wash.
18.
18. You notice Vivian doing her wash. That's about it. You just see
Okay.
her down by the river, and you look around. You continue looking around, seeing for non-agreeable elements. You guys
Yeah.
are left alone all night.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Okay. If you guys want to fast track it a bit, you guys already did roll the first perception check of the leg.
Yep. As
So
I will mention, there's a pack of dogs ahead.
you guys got like a mile into it, and you do notice like a pack of doggish things up here. They look like dogs. You're not entirely sure, but it looks like dogs up there. If you guys speed up, you might be able to catch up to them. But if you decide to slow down, they may not notice you.
Deanna wants to try and see if you can determine what they are up ahead. After the quote-unquote dogs were pointed out.
After I pointed out, yeah, sure. Do you have a nature check?
I do have a skill point in knowledge nature.
Then roll me a nature check.
24.
These
Nice.
are goblin dogs.
Alright, slow down, slow
I'm
down, slow
gonna
down.
give you. Do you want to know something specific about these dogs?
Always.
I'm gonna give you like 2 specific things if you want to know something about them, or if you want me to take over,
Okay.
I can give you 3 things of my choosing.
I'll take the 2 specifics. One is general disposition to races specifically towards humans. And
Well,
how tough they are in terms of their hit points.
well, when it comes to this position towards humans, they are not necessarily fond of them, at least not in the wild. You do know from knowledge is that they tend to, due to the name being called a goblin dog, they do tend to be more seen around goblins. But other than that, they're like any old animal. Like any animal can be made to like any person, or like any individual, with the correct disposition and stuff like that. From the wild though, like they may attack anyone technically.
Oh god. So that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, wild dogs are vicious.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
have you guys seen what a goblin dog looks like?
Yes, they found an animal?
Put
Come on,
Goblin
guys,
Dog
found an animal.
Pathfinder down. Yeah, that
Eh,
one, the second one.
This one.
It's technically an enlarged
Oh,
rat,
lovely.
but they are usually seen nearby goblins. So
Yeah, it
they
looks
are
like a
being
naked mole rat. Giant.
yeah, they've been let's say it lovingly referred to as goblin dogs.
Oh,
So-
they're technically they're technically overgrown rats from what I recall.
generous.
So kobolds, goblin dogs, and demons. What else is down
Like
here?
saying, the goblin dog is in fact a species of rodent grown monstrously large.
So-
Excuse me.
As far as
Gen-
the hit points, you do know they are not too healthy. They do have a decent enough constitution, I suppose, but they don't have many hit points. Like with a lucky strike, you can fell it in one hit.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, lucky
But
strike.
since they're rats, I don't think they're the best edible ones either.
So
It is a pack of four. It is a pack of four of them.
We could get rid of it now, just in case we run into them later, while we're still pretty well rested.
It's. By the way, hold on. I actually did forget. Did I heal from this rest?
You all healed level plus Constitution. But before you healed, you also had the chance to do some magical healing, but you forgot. So that chance has come and gone.
We don't need magical healing.
I
We need old-fashioned
As a
healing.
person who's been knocked down rather low last I checked.
Hey, I'm at how much am I at now? I'm at 20. I'm good.
So at the very least,
Actually, no.
I recovered my level plus
Yeah, 20.
con, right?
Your hit die plus con. So yeah, your total level plus Constitution modifier.
So I heal 5. That's good. So I'm at 23.
Hail 5 too, man. We're good.
Yeah.
See?
Uh,
We don't need magic. Come on.
Okay, so do you guys want to try to approach these gobble doggos?
I am sure that it is too shallow to be.
I'm for getting rid of potential threat early, so.
Vivian, Azra, we could
I'm
potentially
down
slow
for
down
all.
in order to not get noticed by them, but they generally don't like humans, and well, they're more rash than anything. I don't think they're gonna.
And if they're here, it can mean there's goblins here, and I don't want to fight goblins plus goblin dogs.
That is also
Alright,
true.
So yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
So we-
they're kind of cute.
Vivian, focus, right? Right now, it's a state of whether or not we're going to try.
Murder them.
Right now, it's a state of whether or not we're going to intercept them and possibly end up fighting goblins along the way, or we let them pass by and we keep to ourselves.
I will say this, specifically towards Azray. When I was building his character, like filling out his character sheet and such, I did put ranks into animal handling.
Really?
Simply
So I could
because
tame them?
you could, well,
Potentially.
you say tame them. You can try to make him like animal handling is like diplomatics for or handle animal is like diplomatics for humans, but except for animals. You can try to change the disposition towards you. Handle an animal. Let's see here. Rear a wild animal. That is, I believe, what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Rear an animal. Rear a wild animal. That is basically like making it more or less accustomed to your presence and stuff like that.
Oh.
If you're a ranger and you have like Oh wait, never mind. Rare wild animal is raise a wild creature from infancy to become domestic.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
different.
So yeah, never mind. That would not help.
damn.
Handle an
Yeah.
animal.
That's
This task involves commanding an animal to performing a task or a trick that it knows. Never mind, that's not applicable. I think what I'm thinking of here is what I'm thinking of here might be. What I'm thinking of might be wild empathy.
Oh.
Yeah, wild empathy. That's a ranger thing.
And a druid thing.
Yeah.
Wild empathy. Can improve their attitude towards animals. Oh, that's the diplomacy check. Yeah, never mind. That is my bad. If you want to keep it in handle animal, I would allow it. If you want to change it to something else, I would also allow that if you rather have knowledge skills. That is completely up to you, because I did tell you, I made your character for you. If you want to make some changes, that is up to you.
Nah, I appreciate that, Will. For the time being, let's just leave it as is.
Okay.
Alright,
And yes, Lucian, this you could say this is technically a bit too shallow to be underdark.
We have
To
GM
give
confirmation.
you a little bit of backstory, Lucian, they fell through the Earth's crust, like down 1,000 feet. The falling debris started raising again and essentially dampened their fall, making them land mostly unscathed at the bottom.
I mean,
It is
we still received some
technically- I
fucking
want-
damage.
Yeah, and on top of that, the ceiling is somehow magically enchanted to be transparent from the underside up, so they can see the night sky on the ceiling, despite there being a roof, like a ground above it.
Anyways,
so yeah, this is technically too shallow to be on the dark.
So are we engaging or are we going to let them pass?
To kill or not to kill?
I
That is
prefer-
the eternal question of the player.
I would prefer to let them pass. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to kill anything.
That's right.
I'd be fine with murdering them or letting them pass, honestly. I'm pretty ambivalent about it. Whatever the majority decides.
Charon, we're slowing down.
I'm for killing or disabling them.
How would we disable them?
Knock them out.
Okay, so there's a mechanic to deal non-lethal damage.
Yeah.
Technically, you could say
Can knock
that
them
with any weapon whatsoever, you can take a -4 to hit to deal non-lethal damage.
out.
Now, I want to say that all depends on the weapon. Now, you could say you use the hilt, and that is what you deal non-lethal damage with, or you knock with the side of the blade instead. Like, with the Morning Star, it's basically impossible to deal non-lethal damage with the head, I would imagine. But using the handle, like conking in the head, that might deal non-lethal. But yeah, basically, dealing non-lethal damage is taking a minus to hit to deal damage that is non-lethal. So knocking him out in comparison to leaving him bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I just didn't know we could do that to animals.
Yeah,
it
we
makes
could.
sense.
You can do it to anything that has a constitution score.
Yeah,
The
makes
dead
sense.
die. Demons die. Devils die.
Yeah, but goblin dogs aren't necessarily evil, but
I know.
The other thing too is they're heading our
Actually,
way
go
as
check
well,
that.
so we can
Yeah.
wait,
Go and check that.
but so far we're heading in the same direction.
Yeah, goblin dogs, like most animals, are generally neutral.
and then I guess it would be better just to knock them unconscious. Just to make sure that they don't report to any goblins. Ezra, Charon, set it down.
Girl, knock out some goblin
do you
rats.
Do you guys go rushing towards the goblin dogs?
Rushing? I mean, how many of them are there again?
Are you walking? Are you moving double speed? Are you charging? How are you guys doing?
Deanna is all for a charge. What about you guys?
I'd be down for a charge.
I'd fly up first, but yeah, we could do that. I can come in after you guys charge initially.
Okay.
I actually have a good
here's
idea.
what happens.
I actually have an idea.
Okay.
Deanna was going to charge while picking up Vivian.
That is.
That's
Interesting.
I would say you could move like. I would say picking up Vivian might encumber you a little bit for the purposes of like you carrying something that's living instead of just lifting a dead weight.
Which is fair.
So you could move. You can move like with a quarter reduced speed, like 3/4 of your movement. You can move double double of that if you want to. That's basically what I'm saying. Is it's going to be hard to keep up with the others if you're carrying Vivian.
That's fair.
What if me and the Enra hold Vivian between the two of
Dude.
us?
It's the same thing.
I was
That is the
just
same thing about moving faster with several people holding the boat.
Nah,
Like,
I was just kidding.
for more people to run holding a thing between them, that is gonna need basically robotic
Pop in my back.
precision.
I can run.
All right then. You better keep up.
Okay.
I won't.
So basically, you guys are stomping into this. You are charging full speed towards the goblins.
Yeah. I will go up in the air to charge, but yeah.
So, you guys are rushing forwards, making a whole lot of noise, stamping the ground, and you spook the dogs and they scatter.
God damn it.
Okay.
That actually works too.
That does work. Makes it to where they're not going the same way. That also may end up alerting goblins.
They're gonna snitch on us.
I mean, he also said they scattered. They didn't all go the same direction, so depends.
Maybe they're gonna report to different goblins.
They also may not have goblins with them directly. They could be wild goblin dogs, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the only,
Maybe.
actually, with your high roll of knowledge, I suppose it's worthwhile to give you this as well. One of the reasons they're called goblin dogs as well is because the large majority of Galarian is allergic to goblin dogs because they have a dander on them that is highly irritating to basically all creatures except goblinoids.
Ah,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
that's kind of
Like,
sad. If you
basically,
think about
everyone except goblinoids get
It's
allergic
sad,
reactions
yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
it. That's actually kind of sad. We were about to go and kick their asses. Wow, we're the assholes here.
But hey, I rolled a morale
Yeah,
check
right.
and they scattered.
Yeah, it works for us, so.
That works. So let's go
Okay.
recollect that boat.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to stand on check this time? Like stand on guard, just looking around.
I think it's just Vivian because Sharon has to help carry the boat.
I mean, you can still
Yeah,
look in the
me
forward
too.
direction.
Yeah.
That is,
I'll
that
look in
is
the-
true.
DM, I would like to mention that my perception went up because I forgot to put in 3 skill points.
Okay.
That's fine.
Kage.
That's fine.
I only put 1 in it.
Look at it this way. Up until now, she was rolling sub-pally.
Yeah, it helps.
I guess that does help.
Look, I added 2 to spellcraft because I'm the main spellcrafter of the group somehow as a paladin.
It's between you and
As
The platypus.
Ulan.
Ooh.
It's between you and Ulan. Ulan has spellcraft as well, I believe. Ulan can do detect magic more reliably than Vivian can.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
I need a headband of it.
with your perception, you guys managed to get to the coast and you are not ambushed.
Okay.
The current in here looks a bit strange.
Oh?
There appears to be somewhat of a whirlpool,
Oh god.
but reverse.
Reverse.
So there's like it originates in the center, and it sort of swirls outwards. Let me get my drawing pen. One moment.
So
it
essentially,
kinda
it
goes like
so I
that.
s-
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong way. But outwards.
So it's pushing everything
That's
out towards
Away
the
from it.
land.
Huh.
It's almost like something like it's being supplied by a hole on the ground.
Yeah, it's like something's being gushed out to make it. Huh.
Yeah. So at the
Okay.
moment, from where you're standing, if you guys want to go out there, you're
We'd have to
gonna
go
either
around the long
have to
way.
run with the current, avoid being smashed against the shore, and then escape velocity through here.
Skip the-
Yeah.
Hey, you know the land seems nice, guy. The
Yeah,
When it
land
makes
comes
seems
sense.
nice.
when it comes
Land
to up
does seem
here,
nice.
Yeah,
it
that's
it
the cliffs,
is
right?
yeah, it is like raised, not as big as here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like still like somewhere
It'd be
between
rough.
like 30 feet down to the water from there, and like close to 60 here.
So, guys, all in favor of going the long way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna have to.
You guys can still try to like fight the current a bit and like just leap over the wall again.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
tell, I'll tell you this: the current being stronger here
Makes you go
would
faster.
get there basically faster, yeah, than going on foot.
Yeah, no. We're not doing that. We're not fighting this
Yeah,
against this
no,
thing.
fuck that. I'm just moving on.
Yeah, let's
don't
go along.
We don't have the manpower for it.
Well, technically, if we wanted to, I could pilot the boat. If things go wrong, just fly out. But
At
You
least
can
one
fly
would
out.
survive.
at least I'd survive.
Let me tell you this: absolute worst case scenario, you end up on shore with a broken boat. That is
We
the
can
worst
try
case
it.
because
We can try.
yeah,
At the very
there is a
least, get us closer.
there's a small slipstream that goes maybe northish here, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's just pushing outwards.
You know
So-
what?
Want to try it?
You have two oars. Two people are going to be able to roll strength checks.
In a worst case scenario, we crash and have to rely on figuring out the magic bridge, which we're
I'm
probably
gonna
going to
tell you
figure out
this:
anyway.
the way I'm gonna do it is if both of you guys succeed the strength check, you're fine. If one of you guys succeed the strength check, you get closer to the shore. If both of you fail, you hurtle towards the shore. Depending on how close you are to the shore, you either like if one of you fails it and you get to shore, it's basically like landing the craft. If both of you fail, you crash into it and the boat takes some damage.
Fair enough.
Maybe crack a hole in it.
Fair enough.
That is how
You know-
that's gonna work.
You know what? Let's chance this, guys.
Let's do it.
Fuck it.
Deanna's gonna
I
set
was
the.
gonna.
Yeah, because of how you guys have walked today, you've already traveled like 4 miles essentially. If you guys are gonna go around, you would have to stop around here-ish, have a break before you continue forwards, or continue forwards and take a little damage.
So,
And then you're gonna have to cross there again, or just wait by the water shore.
so
What are you going
I
to say,
think.
Kage, by the way?
Yeah, Kage, what's
I
up?
was gonna say, yeah, let's risk it, but could me and Sharon assist one of the other two people on their
If you
strength
have
check?
bigger oars, then yes. Basically, what you guys
Okay.
have now are big branches, and I would imagine the way you guys would use those is either like row through their life on one side, or if you're close enough, like to a bridge, like to stones and stuff like that, like pushing yourselves away from the edges.
That's fair.
There's a good chance your sticks might break after this incursion, but yeah.
More sticks.
More sticks.
There is always you always see a tree in a distance. It's not, as
Yeah.
I mentioned, like the place you're traveling. It's not a forest, but there's always a tree in the horizon. At least a few of them.
All right. Let's try this.
Okay.
Then real
Let us get a
strength.
bit more interesting music to this. Let's
Yeah,
go
let's
with
say.
this one.
Hey, that works.
There we go. So, because of how you are starting off, you can go a bit higher on the shore and move out. So let's just say you go to the end of the shores, and you can manage to get like out there-ish. And then, like, over here, before you're gonna have to fight the current.
God.
All right.
From
And
here,
then we hit
Azric,
go
come on.
hurtling towards shore.
Come on, Azric, we gotta move to inwards.
Let's do it. Huh.
Who is rowing?
Huh.
And, yeah, who is rowing?
Both of us.
And who is praying?
I'm praying. I'm praying.
Yeah, I'm praying to my god.
All right.
Okay.
𝓮𝓼's strength roll.
Let us
Alright.
let us call this let us call this a chase. And let's say you need 5 checks total. Actually no. Let's make this more fun. Let's say 10 checks total to get to here. But to get to there, like as I said, 10 checks, and each of you guys have a check each. If you get 5 failures, you end up in the ditch.
Ooh.
If the failure was a result of 2 fails, like both of you guys failing, there is a catastrophic failure. As in, the boat cracks, you guys might have to swim a bit.
Okay.
But if you only fail by 1, you can manage to save it with another save.
All right.
Are we doing this again?
Let's do this, guys.
Let's do this.
Okay.
𝓮𝓼 starts off with an 8.
I'm calling it 12.
Well, he
That's
failed.
one
One person
failure.
failed already. Azric, go. 18.
Succeeds. 1 success, 1 failure. You managed to sort of go with the tide, but you get a little bit close. Second check. I'm calling it a DC 14.
All right. 𝓮𝓼 will go first. 19.
Yes.
Okay.
19. Alright, Azric.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm coming.
20.
Okay.
That is 3 successes. You managed to stay clear. You managed to stay clear of the bank, and you are in a bit of a clear strait.
Okay.
Oh god.
You're just coming up to the next leg.
Oh god, guys.
DC 15. Because actually, you know
15.
what? Let's make it a bit more difficult, shall we? Let's make it
16?
16 because
Yes.
more of a hard angle.
All right.
Is right now Karen's just like holding on to the edge of the boat during this
That's
right?
great.
𝓮𝓼 will go first.
Yes.
6.
Oh my god, yeah. 22.
Oh,
That is
saved.
fail,
One pass,
miss.
1 fail. Yeah.
You are halfway there on both sides, to say it like that. Let's say it like this as well. Critical hits are worth 2 checks, and critical misses are also worth 2 checks. Shall we?
Sure.
That deal.
I'm fine with that. I am fine with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
It means if you hit
Remember-
not 20, it's like 2 passes. If you not 1, it's like 2 failures.
Yes.
Oh,
basically.
whoa.
God.
So
And as I
that's
said-
double?
Double or nothing if you roll one of those.
If you guys hit 5 checks on failures with a 2 check, like if you go from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6, then it is a catastrophic failure. If you're going from 4 to 5, actually, if you're going from 4 to 6, that is also like the same, like catastrophic failure. But yeah, if you're passing the failure threshold with 2 checks, 2 checks bad, then bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
Okay,
As
then.
in the boat, your boat is going to be more or less damaged or defunct.
Well, I mean, right now, it's a shock that the boat's holding together.
Oh, the boats always hold together. You guys are just getting closer to shore. Keep in
Wait,
mind, you guys are going to try to get up here. If you guys want to bail,
we could try bailing her if we want.
you can try to bail, yeah, but keep in mind, you also have momentum. So that's going to be a bit of a thing as well.
That is
Yeah.
bad. So, what's
Let's
DC
call
now?
it
So I would
16.
start bailing.
Another
6.
16, let's try it.
All right. Let's
All right,
go for it.
guys.
7.
𝓮𝓼,
That is
come
one
on, man.
fail.
Oh, not 1.
And
I
that
was
takes
about
you
to say
guys
goddamn
from 2
humans, and then
fails.
this happened.
That takes you guys
Goddamn
from 2
humans.
fails to 5
God.
fails.
Goddamn humans.
You guys get over here, and you're hurtling towards. Let's see here. I'm gonna roll a D100 to see how the landing looks like.
Go for it.
Would you guys prefer high or low?
Hi,
Hi.
is my vote.
Okay.
Sure.
Everyone votes in favor of high, which is very decent because I rolled a 54.
Oh,
Ooh.
For
fuck
those that
Ooh.
don't know, that is 4 points away from low.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you guys are ending on a sandy shore, but it's a rocky sandy shore. As you guys are going in, you hit a bit hard on one of the rocks, tearing, like punching out a few holes. This is looking familiar to your previous boat.
Oh my god.
There are holes in the bottom of the boat, but at least you are on the side of the shore.
We made it. We
We
made it.
did it. We did it.
Hey, look,
we
and
did
nobody swallowed the water.
Gianna's gonna kind of step out, shake his
Is
head,
he gonna
very soon
hurl?
said, "No, he's not gonna hurl. He's gonna shake his head very soon. Says, we risked it all. And all we got was a biscuit. We couldn't get a fucking filet mignon. All we got was a biscuit.
Nope.
Is that a human phrase or
It is a human phrase.
okay?
It is
Better
currently
be.
past noon. Like, it is decently past noon. If you guys want to travel some more, you estimate you might be able to get to the shore.
You know, with the
before
damage to the
nightfall.
boat, by the way, would that make it lighter to carry?
I think the
Not
boat.
that much more,
Not
no.
fuck
Like, the
that
boat isn't destroyed, it is just damaged.
Is
And
it
leaky.
leaky though?
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's why it's
leaking.
leaky.
Yeah, it is. It is basically like the other
Is
boat
that
was
the
when you guys
point?
found it.
Oh,
If you guys want to
no.
try to patch it, you can attempt to with the same method.
With mud.
You didn't succeed very well last time.
You know, again, I apologize. Deanna did accumulate over half the strength checks, but Azrael, when you fail, you fail.
Well, to be fair,
hey, I
you
came
might-
pretty heavy.
You might say that he was just following by your example.
Yeah, I'm looking at all Deanna's rolls here compared to Azrae's. Deanna had one success.
But yeah,
There we go. You see,
So,
I came
That's why there's a
What you
difference
guys wanna
between
do?
brawler and barbarian, okay?
through.
it is about like 2 or 3 p.m. right now.
The hell's PM?
Past,
Oh.
past
damn.
midday.
Past mortem? Got it.
Okay, Dane's dead. It's official.
Yep. Dane's dead. He got killed.
It's
He
3 hours
was
past
lost.
his
Right
death.
out.
He flew out when we
No,
crashed.
no,
He landed in the water. That's what
I'm
happened.
insane.
It's
Okay.
time for Dane to make a new character.
Oh god, no, please. I like Deanna.
At least this time, you guys didn't end up washing ashore.
Yeah.
Like we did the first
Like,
time.
yeah, you didn't have to swim. It's just your boat got hauled up to hell upon arrival. You can now understand like why the first boat was so holy and patchy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, there's no way we can take that boat back out.
Well,
We could attempt
you
to
could try
fix it,
patch
but
you could try to patch it the first time,
Yep.
but you fear that might end up in the same result trying to cross, like happened last time.
yeah. I say we just leave it here for now and hope we can maybe figure out bridge thing.
Yeah,
I
that'd
mean, I
probably be the
do-
best.
If we make
would
it to the
say-
bridge, I can use my identify.
We could also actually do something else instead. In case we can't
would
get the bridge
say-
working.
I would say it would make more sense to carry the broken boat with you to the bridge, trying the bridge first and then trying to fix the boat instead of just leaving it back there. Otherwise, we'd have to travel all the way back again.
Fair
Ooh,
enough.
that's a good
Fuck
point.
it, let's take the boat. Come on.
Hurrah.
I'm just trying to be a little bit of help here. Be the literal Jiminy Cricket.
You are being literally
uh,
Jimmy
good.
Cricket. That's GM's class.
We appreciate that.
It might be a bit overbearing, but I'm just
That's all good.
saying it would make sense to like not leave a potential fixable object behind for a thing that may not even work.
Yeah, true.
At least the boat can sort of float.
It could sort of float, yeah. All right, come on,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And we make our way to the bridge.
You make your way to the platform. Just gonna roll a few d10s.
There you go.
Ooh, I'm
Uh-oh.
not gonna lie here. That was 1 point away from being molested. You guys get there without incident.
Okay.
Wow.
That was 1 point away from random
Barely
encounter.
escaped the
Okay.
molestation.
All right.
Your spine senses start to tingle. You veer a little bit more west than usual, and you end up avoiding an encounter with an unknown.
For pedophile.
I was like,
From
Karen,
unknown
come on,
pedophile.
let's at least prop the boat up here.
Okay. So this is looking similar to the bridge you guys saw, but grander. And especially when you see on the other side, like you guys know the city you guys just came from, like the little town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the name.
Brickton,
The village of Beckton.
Beckton.
Back.
Yeah. You would imagine that the village of Beckton might very easily be able to facilitate themselves on your side.
What? Huh.
On the white square there.
Yeah.
Beckton might be able to fit like their little village on that square.
Wow.
Wow. So
It's not. Then again, to be fair, Beckton's not a big village. But just
Still.
looking at this metropolis, it is in size-wise, it is awe-inspiring. It is the size of some of the capitals you've seen.
This is the second biggest city I've seen.
I've seen bigger.
It's the biggest I've seen.
Well, I say we split up and try and see if we can find anything about this bridge from where we can go.
Okay.
Deal?
Who's doing what?
Deanna's gonna check out the northern quadrant of this invisible bridge part in order to try and see if he can understand this bridge.
Do you have knowledge arcana or knowledge engineering?
Let me double check. Arcana, engineering? No. He's got dungeoneering, local in nature.
Karen can try for engineering. He actually has that.
Okay. I mean, you can roll engineering to
Okay.
check out like the construction and stuff.
18.
18, wow.
From what you know, this was constructed the way it looks. Some places may look a little bit weathered, but
Mhm.
like the edges were definitely constructed the way that it's supposed to look. It doesn't appear to be missing any obvious parts. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's say it like this: the end of the bridge looks like it's supposed to look like that.
Huh.
It looks to be constructed like a platform. And not a
Yeah, so
bridge.
it doesn't look like this thing's fallen to ruin or anything. This is still like as functioning as it should be. Okay.
Yeah, like it does. Like the edges are nicely shaved off. Like they're chiseled down nicely.
Mhm.
When you fly, if you fly over here, like over the edge, and look,
Yeah.
you can actually see that the waterfront side is actually engraved.
Really? What's it
Actually,
engraved with?
it's the same. It's the same thing for the sides, like the wall sides.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see, pull up the front. But yeah, it is definitely interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, I'm gonna put it to the map layer. There we go.
Once I get my detect magic up, I will detect magic.
Okay, so you use detect magic, and once again, like from this bridge, you feel the same ancient magic that you did from the other platform.
Okay.
Roll me a spellcraft if you want to.
24?
Nice.
Power 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not
Once
finding
again,
anything
I'm
over
gonna
here.
say you don't fully grasp the complexity of the magic of this bridge.
I think I needed one more point.
I think you needed 6 more points.
as Kano mentioned that. Well, at least structurally, this seems intact as much as it can be. Like it's meant to be how it is right now. It hasn't fallen to just repair a ruin. Even though
I suppose with such a high spellcraft, I can give you a little bit of a hint. You are looking at the structure of the magic, and for some reason it reminds you of locks.
Locks.
Arcane lock.
I mean, that is like one thing that comes to mind. Like it feels like at least the part you're checking out feels like very specific. You don't know exactly what, but for some reason it reminds you of lock. The concept of lock.
Reminds me of a lock.
A lock?
Yeah.
It might. That does explain quite a bit, at least with the previous bridge.
so if we can figure out whatever the key is to the lock, we're good.
If we can figure out the key. I can't understand this place though.
I don't know magic well, so
Oh goodness. Is anyone willing for an experimentation?
Oh, what's
experimentation how?
Remember those symbols on them and how they were able to use on the enemies we fought?
Oh.
You mean those evil
Vaguely?
runes?
Yeah, the
Oh, are you-
runes. I was
so they
thinking
can be
of
on the
maybe
bridge.
drawing it on one of you.
Yeah,
and seeing
no.
if that activated it.
Vivian, look at me. No.
We need a way across.
I'm disappointed Miguel's phantom isn't here.
What was that, Kage?
You see her give you a sad face.
No.
It's either you or her, is what she's saying.
The answer is we're not doing it.
We have. It's.
Can we find like a rock? Paint on the rock and then put a rock on the bridge? No.
Actually,
We can try it.
Yeah.
Actually-
Nothing to say we can't try.
why don't we try using it on the bridge?
Ooh.
Rather than a rock, we could just put it on the bridge itself.
On the actual bridge, yeah.
I
Cut
mean,
out the
first I'd
middleman.
need some charcoal.
Could
I got none.
Burn some twigs.
You're not burning
I
Henry.
mean, it's starting. It's starting. If you guys want to, if you guys want to, you can start setting up camp already now and like. set up a
Yeah.
campfire.
You know, that might work. Deanna will help set up camp. He'll consume
Does anyone
another
want to
day's
hunt?
worth of trail rations.
Does anyone want to hunt?
I could go hunting.
Okay. Does
I
anyone
want-
want to assist hunting?
I sort of want to like scout the other end myself. But
Come again?
I sort of want to like fly to scout, see what I can see on the other side too, while this is going on.
Okay. Just want to fly to the other side then.
Yeah, fly to the other side and just like look around, see if there's like anything else maybe from that side I can use to connect, maybe.
Let us know if there's a wall of force.
You'll find out one way or the other.
We'll find out if we hear a tum.
Should
Okay.
I roll for survival?
Roll for survival, yeah. You manage to find food for 2 people. That can be extended to 3 people if you guys had the bone broth.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you find let's say you find 4 rabbits. 4 rabbits and some wild mushrooms.
Very nice, very nice.
4,
Very
5.
well.
We would have needed 5 rations. And today we need 3.
Okay.
Guys, you need to
So
roll
yeah.
better on your hunting checks.
No, you can't make us.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I
You don't
refuse.
have an
Don't
aura that'll
start.
help us do that.
What's Deanna doing?
No,
Well,
you're right. I
technically
don't.
they have. It's called rolling to aid.
Deanna, he's helping set up camp
Ah, okay.
while also
Okay.
looking over at Henry. Kind of, he's actually gonna try and look more at Henry. At the design of
Just
Henry.
inspecting it.
Establishing a
Inspecting it.
connection.
It looks like a regular twig from a tree. It literally looks like you would just go up to a tree that was dry and just snapped off one of its twigs, or one of its branches, and it's like maybe a foot high or foot tall or something like that.
Doesn't fully understand
foot long.
magic, so he's just going to ask. He's going to ask himself, how did someone like this be enchanted with magic?
You fail to find that answer because you're not magically trained.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh,
At least not until he picks up spell.
With your military knowledge, the only answer you come up with is determination.
You're filled with a sense of determination.
Oh god, it must have a soul somewhere.
If only this was Undertale, Dane. If
If
only.
only.
But yeah, okay. Have everyone marked down who is consuming rations and who is not.
I expended all the rations that I had to make ration soup again.
For everyone, okay.
Ration soup with rabbit this time.
yep.
Who
and
is
some
taking what
mushroom.
watch?
I'll
what
take
I-
second watch.
Okay.
Deanna
What happens
takes
if
first
checking
watch.
over the other side of Karen?
Come
Yeah,
again?
Karen flew over to the other side. What did he find?
Oh, okay. So you actually just ping on the platform where you want to go. You land here.
Yeah,
And
like just
you essentially see like a raised part of the platform. Like it's the entirety of the platform appears to be at a lower point than the other one, but there's a
Okay.
raised part that appear to be parallel to the place where you came from.
I'd
The lower
focus on that
part
part.
looks to be.
Oh, go ahead first, but
The raised part basically looks identical to the place you just came from. Size and like width, everything. It looks basically identical. When you
Okay.
go down from the platform and down to the plots below, it looks basically like a plaza.
Huh.
It looks like a place where you might find a market, like an outdoor market where travelers
Mhm.
might go come over and just set up their stalls from out of town.
Yeah.
And it's all it's mostly walled in with like I'll say a fence, like a guardrail, like a carved guardrail of stone going around the edges.
Okay.
Some of the ends are crumbled, specifically on the eastern side here. We can get down to a craggy underside below.
Yeah.
But yeah, that basically
Okay.
looks like that. As you saw from above, like there's a massive arch in the middle of the wall. The wall itself is rather thick. Don't ask me how. I have not found out the specific thickness of these
All good.
walls, but it's definitely bigger. Like it's definitely like siegeable walls. Definitely that. But yeah, like you do not see anything weird about the arch with the naked eye, at least at a
Okay.
cursory glance.
Yeah. Okay.
What you want to do?
I just so I'm just like thinking from his like knowledge engineering school, which I may roll for it depending, but it's sort of like if this is like the main gate of the city, and the other bridge is meant to connect to here. Even though he's pretty sure it's magic based, he'd think that part of the control can maybe be done on this side more than the side that the camp is at, just because it can be controlled by whatever guards were once there and everything. So it's like trying to see there's like a different like open switch on this side, maybe. I don't know.
So you want to try going behind the gate looking for something?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you try to go through the arch, you test it, and you don't feel anything upon trying to step over the threshold.
Yeah.
So you go over, and
I would.
you keep
Oh
on
yeah.
walking,
Hmm.
and you don't see anything at first. Roll me a perception check.
Gotcha. Perception. 21.
You do see, like,
Nice.
inside,
There we go.
in the distance, like, right inside the
Mhm.
walls at this time of day, you don't see anything specific.
Okay.
Way further down, like, Main Street, you do
Mhm.
see some movement at the bottom of it. Looks like humanoid creatures. Some of them look kind of familiar to what you've seen before. Like,
Oh
they kind
god.
of look like the Lust Spawns. They might just be armored guards. They
Mhm.
might be the Lust Spawns. You are unsure.
Yeah.
But once you're past the bridge, you do also notice, or once you pass the archways, you do notice that there is what looks like an opening in the wall, the left side of the gateway.
Okay.
There are also
Ah.
basically like doors wherever.
Mhm.
Imagine it a labyrinth of a city. There are
Yeah.
pathways going up. There are pathways going further down. There are doors going to buildings on every which level. Some places there appear to be stalls erected. Some places with what appears to be dirt placed in like selling boxes and stuff like that. Might be old, like rotten produce. It's hard to
Mhm.
tell.
Yeah.
Part of the city definitely feels to be abandoned.
Okay.
Wow.
Huh. Yeah, after that I would report back because I'm not gonna after seeing laughter, I'm not gonna risk staying there.
You want to check out like the little opening you saw literally connected to the left side of the arch.
It's I'm gonna roll some because it's tempting. Part of me is saying run, part of me is like I wanna explore.
Don't explore without us, man.
I'll explore it. Just that opening,
Okay.
just to look inside.
So you're looking inside, and it appears to look like the door is open. You push open the door. It's a nice wooden door. It looks a bit old, but it's keeping. And you're pushing up the door, and very fitting that the music ended just there. That was very
Oh
surprising.
god.
It's open. It's starting back up again. Don't worry. But yeah, so you're looking inside. It looks like a guard room of some kind. It's a simple, like one-man post
Mm-hmm.
with some like some letters up on a post board or something similar.
Yeah.
No writing you recognize.
Huh.
You also see what appears to be some badges just laying idly on a table somewhere. Like inside, you see some badges that appear to be looking. You can't necessarily see what the badges are on for where you're standing. You would have to go
Yeah.
inside the room to look at it further. You also see a rack of weapons on the left side of the room.
Okay. Ah, this is Yeesh. Ah. He'll glance behind him quick to make sure nothing's near him. At least from that angle.
You don't see anything near you.
Before he would quietly enter the room.
Okay.
Oh,
Going slow
Where,
just to keep a wide view around because
where,
yeah, he's
where in the room are you looking? Are you just focused on the table? Are you focused on the wall with the bulletin? Are you focused on the wall with the
well
weapons? Are you focused on the wall you just came from?
once he enters inside he immediately looks to his left and right. Just to make sure nothing's like what's hidden from you first.
Roll a quick perception check.
Okay. Perception. 21. What? Wow, the exact same roll.
From
Huh.
just looking, like you just got into the room.
Yeah.
Peeking your head in, looking left, looking right. Looking right, you already saw what you saw. Right in front of you saw what you saw. To the
Mhm.
left, you see some strange indentations in the wall
Yeah.
that you can't see past.
Huh.
Like there's a
Strange and
path. There's like going from where you're standing, just barely
yeah.
inside the room. There's still a blind spot you're not quite sure about.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But other than
Uh.
that, it's dead quiet in here.
Yeah. He would continue forward. Right now, I'm more concerned of like just identifying the blind spots of the room because this is a guard room, so and unsure if like this is regular for these things, if someone's being here or not. He's gonna first like creep forward, trying to like see all ends of the room before he does anything else.
See what's
Yeah, behind the passive blind spot, essentially.
okay. So you move forwards. I would imagine cautiously.
Yeah, for sure. He's
And
going quietly and slowly.
well, in that case, roll me a stealth check.
All right. Yep, that didn't roll. 1 sec. 22.
Okay, you're good.
Nice.
So you move forwards with stealth,
Yeah.
and once you get across to the point where you can see into the little cove, you do notice that it's slanted. Like it is a slanted. Actually, I can just draw. What am I saying?
True. It's all good.
So you kind of see like here's the wall, and it's sort of slanted like that. So it's like leaning backwards, and leaning against the wall appears to be some sort of mechanical figure. You can only make maybe a golem, something like that. It's resting up against the wall, and it's inanimate.
Okay, and where is it facing?
This way. It's facing towards
Okay.
you, and it's
Mhm.
completely inanimate, and it's resting like that against the wall.
Okay. Oh boy.
Those badges and get the fuck out of there.
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking if I do anything, it's gonna wake up. That's my only thinking. Like,
You see, I'm gonna see how many badges you see there.
go for it. Yeah, thanks. And more details are always good.
Look,
There are 3 badges there.
3
They're laying
badges.
on the
Okay.
table.
just swipe one and get the fuck out.
So see, this is the scout's demise in my mind, where you keep finding more and more information. You want to go as far as you can, but also risking things going wrong the further you go.
You are splitting the party.
Yeah, no, it's something I unfortunately do. Because I'll just say it plainly right now.
I'm gonna make it worse for you. I'm gonna up the tension of the.
Do it. Do
of
it.
the music.
I'm down. But yeah, just so you also hear some of the internal struggle for Charon right now. He's thinking he can report back, just a general thing, but it's gonna be there's something unknown there. We don't know what's gonna happen, etc. Or
On the other side, you are already here. And
yeah,
the guy
one
goes to sleep.
he's already here. This thing seems inanimate, and no one's around him right now. There's no guarantee when they come back later it's gonna be empty. He can grab a paper and a badge, bring him back for someone else who can maybe identify it and give them a better idea what's going on.
Or you can
Is what he's
grab
thinking.
everything.
Nah, he's not
You
gonna grab everything.
notice, from where
Yeah.
you're standing, the weapons that are
Mhm.
hanging on the wall are very, very, very sexy looking. They all appear to be masterwork. Mostly, like, there are maybe
Mhm.
two long swords that are hanging there on the wall. 2 of them appear to be long spears. And there's also a very nice looking shield that's hanging there. All looks like mastercrafts.
Oh. Yeah, this is my job. Okay. From Sharon's thing, because he's already here. So far, it seems plausible. And he doesn't want to go back empty-handed. He will first, because he's expecting things to go wrong right now. As I check his inventory real quick. he's gonna be at the ready to draw his weapon, the Earthbreaker, but
As
he's
usual.
gonna go over to grab a badge and to grab one of the papers. He doesn't understand the language or anything, but he wants to get those as identifiers.
So you grab a badge and you grab a paper from the wall, and you're looking back, shock and horror. Nothing. The golem-esque looking thing is inanimate as always. It has not appeared to have reacted to you picking up anything.
Okay. And also, just one last thing. Does the one badge look like the other badges, or do they all look different?
They all look. From where you're standing, you got close to them. All
Yeah.
the badges appear to be looking the same, and you can't quite place it. But there's something familiar with the badges. There's something about them that you feel you've seen before.
Okay. They all look the same. Okay, so with one badge, since they all look the same, and one paper, Carolyn's gonna try to creep back out because he's gonna try to leave this place now that he got some evidence at least to study. The weapons are tempting, but that'll be for when they actually come over here.
Agreed.
Okay, so you walk towards the exit,
Mm-hmm.
and when you get to the door that you left open,
Yeah.
right as you step your foot into the threshold, you hear a cracking to your right from the little alcove. As if something that hasn't moved for ages is starting to move. That's
Get
what
the
you hear.
fuck out of
Bolts!
there.
I run! I run!
Do you run or do you fly?
I do a running start into a fly.
Ooh, good combo.
So you get back out, you start flying out of the exit way,
Yeah.
and you do manage to get smoothly out of there. You manage to fly back, and you manage to get back to your friends with a piece of paper in hand and a rune. Like a runish.
That was my other feeling, by the way, that it was gonna activate once I stole something. I guess the trigger was leaving the room.
The hell happened to you?
Well,
It's a long story.
it's a long story. As
I
I
can
relate
tell.
to to the platform that I went to what I saw in the city from seeing things that look humanoid but could be lust spawn for all I knew. And the guards room with the
From the
badges, paper,
if any of you
weapons, and
guys
that armor.
have, I'm gonna say if any of you have Arcana and Engineering, you can roll a knowledge check to get a vague idea of what it is.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to peace out though.
Aw, man.
Oh, that's fine.
It's all good.
Alright.
Alright, well, darling. Enjoy, guys.
Wait,
Have fun.
um,
Good luck.
Before you go, though.
What's up?
Oh, well, do you want to do the XP frame before it goes, or?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, just so we get that done already.
Yeah. From what you guys have done so far and things you've been doing, you guys crossed sort of the river. You guys didn't manage quite to do the reverse maelstrom.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is gonna be right or not, but I'm gonna give you 600. I'm gonna give you 600 experience, Azray. And I suppose I don't know if you three are gonna want to continue too much further.
A little bit more, maybe
yeah.
just like this one part, but
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but you can mark down 600 Azray.
Okay, shit, 4,000. Wait, that moved me to 4,440.
nice.
Yeah.
You're almost there, dude.
Yeah,
You're almost there.
close,
You and
close.
him are almost at level 3.
Hey.
Nice indeed.
Getting there. Getting there.
Yeah,
It was
man.
very, very nice having you here, Perry.
Bro,
very
my
nice.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
As always. Yeah, dude. But alright, now that guys, have fun, enjoy, stay safe, and yeah, I'll talk to you
Yes,
all
Later, dude.
Calm yourself.
Got it. Peace out.
Peace out. But yeah. So, you guys have some pages you don't fully understand. You don't understand the language.
Yeah.
And you also have a rune that you don't fully understand. I will say this. Who looks at the rune? Like, who looks at the badge?
I may not have a
Yeah.
magic, but I'd be looking at it too because I thought it was familiar.
𝓮𝓪𝓷𝓮 would actually also be looking at the badge. Military commander and all.
Mm-hmm. Again, like, to you, it looks familiar. It looks like something you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine, out of all of you, the one who probably would recognize it the most is Vivian, because she's been the one to look more intently into the image, which was the same image that was described into the smalls or the backs of the lust spawns. It looks very much similar to that. Looks a bit different, but very much similar.
And we're all just kind of huddled around this campfire doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Vivian, or Kage, I don't know if you know about this, but you are muted.
Yep.
Don't know if that's by choice or not. Just let you know.
Fuck me.
Oh my
It was
god,
my
Kage.
choice.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I said I would be looking at it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that I sort of assumed that you weren't piping up, so I sort of assumed that and just said that if Vivian was looking at it, she would recognize it to be very familiar to the Lust Spawn's small back symbol.
Can I take this for a moment?
Yeah.
I would take it.
Hold on. While she's looking at the badge, might I take a look at the paper?
Sure. That can't make any sense to it, but go ahead as he gives it to him.
I would take the badge, go over to the edge of the bridge, and see if it brings up the stones.
What do you specifically specify specifically what you do? So
I
do you
stick
walk
a foot
onto
out.
it? Do you drop the badge on it, or do you place your hand on it?
I hold the badge in my hand first, and try and take a step forward, just like 1 foot.
Testing the water style.
Yeah.
So you test the water style, and your toe, when your toe touches a certain crosses a certain threshold, stone brick starts materializing underneath it.
Okay. Do I have purchase with that?
Well, do you trust yourself to put your foot fully down?
Yes, I do.
You
I'll
are
swim
now
in heavy
standing-
fucking armor.
You are now standing half and half on materialized brick and solid platform stone.
Nice.
Hey guys, come look!
So it doesn't be branded on a stone, right?
I wasn't
works.
gonna brand it. I was just gonna draw with charcoal.
No, I'm just saying from what we saw before.
That's fair, yeah.
Huh, I should have gone. I wish I got more then, but
Hold on.
Back
one at a
to
time
the
should
end.
work.
Do you have linguistics, 𝓮𝓵?
Linguistics. I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't have it trained.
Yeah, basically, there's no way in hell you would find a way to ever recognize this piece of paper and its contents.
So
It
note
looks
to
like
self,
random
I know what to
scribblings
do
from
with my level
Madman
up.
to you.
I know what to do with my level up now.
But there's too many things, Dane.
Indeed.
Magic device, this.
Anyways, let's also focus on something important. The fact that Vivian has purchased on something, and 𝓮𝓵 says, let me also test something, Vivian. He's gonna hold on to her back to make sure that she's not gonna fall. He's going to reach up and take the badge carefully and remove it from her to see if it's going to remove the stone from underneath her foot.
Well, how are you standing? Keep in mind, she literally only goes up to your waist at most.
As
Like, how are you holding, like, across her
Sorry,
back?
I am less than 2 foot. I maybe go up to your hip.
So
Yeah.
he's on
So
a knee.
Are you on your knees, holding like across her like midriff or whatever,
Yes.
and taking the badge from her hand?
Yes.
Okay, I'll tell you what happens, but you're gonna have to roll me a strength check.
Well, shit.
What do you expect? And she's an army and everything.
Strength, Dane, not a skill.
I mean, also, to be fair, she's effectively in like half plate.
Yep.
If you think about size, she's in
But-
breastplate.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll it, Dane. There's no turning back
18.
now. You said you wanted to do it. 18. So
Oh god.
you barely managed to not let Vivian go, but like as you like remove the badge from her hand and keep it in yours, like as the second it leaves her fingers, she drops and you fall forwards, and essentially you face plant against a stone brick.
Just
As
keeping
your
her, just to
hands-
keep her from falling off completely. Got it.
Now, basically, here's how this works. Your hand passes through without being stopped, for some odd reason. You don't exactly know why. Your upper torso, your lower torso, and your face, however, is being supported by a materialized stone brick as you slam against it and take, let us say, 3 points of non-lethal damage. Essentially, just being you tombstone yourself with Vivian's strength, with Vivian's weight against the floor, and as you barely manage to hold on to her.
Okay. That does help understand as to what this is now.
Question is now, how are you going to get up? Because Vivian above you, you partially see a materialized stone supporting 𝓮𝓵𝓷𝓵 face, and you see his hand stretching down, and you see the ledge of the platform. He can try to pull you up, but chances are you're going to be scraped against materialized stone.
So,
Maybe it's just to see if she held it, put a foot down, let go of it, put a foot down, instead of doing this whole elaborate thing. Oh no.
Shut up.
This Karen walks over.
You mind flying down underneath and getting hurt?
Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely loving this.
I can tell.
This is what happens when you follow a Dane idea.
Well, to
Alright.
be fair, Vivian has known Dane for what? 4 days?
I would say about a week.
It's a
Okay.
miracle that he was a military commander.
Yeah, look at all your military commanders.
Anyways,
Karen flies under. Now, don't
Imagine
let
you
go of her
stand
until
up
I
and just
say
grabbing
so.
her.
I don't intend on letting go of her until you have her.
No, the only reason I was doing the fly thing is just so when I grab her, it's not like hold on by just the arms. I can actually like, hold her fully and fly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very difficult fly check for you though.
Oh, it would be? Ah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, you're flying with very much extra weight.
True.
Like I told, like when you guys were falling and Vivian did the same stunt, like you barely managed to slow down. You didn't manage to gain lift with her hanging onto you.
Yeah, true. Alright, then I'll try to do it from land. Try and get her then.
Okay, so you're just gonna lean over the edge and grab her hand and pull her up.
Yes.
I would like for both of you guys to give me strength checks.
Okay.
That or a climb check from Vivian. Vivian can do a climb if she wants to, but other than that, both give me strength checks.
Alright, I'll do
don't
strength.
know if she's got the good climb, so might as well strength.
Excuse me,
Oh.
I have a positive climb, thank you.
Also, one question because I just noticed after like a long time.
What?
I took strength damage a while ago. I healed one of it,
Yeah,
but I didn't. Okay, gotcha.
The strength damage is far heals.
Okay.
Like you took
Gotcha.
that basically in the first. That was from the ghost in the dungeon.
Yeah. I totally forgot about it. I look now, like, oh wait a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So-
you healed that your first
18.
night in the
21.
village.
All right.
You didn't need to roll, Dane, but that's fine.
I thought we both
Vivian?
had to do
No,
this
it was
instead.
her. It was her that had to roll.
Oh,
Dang!
Hello,
You
water.
stole the good roll.
This
Luckily, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it like this: you don't manage to climb up, but Sharon doesn't manage to pull you up either. You don't fall. It's just that Dane is now free of Vivian, and Vivian is now hanging from Sharon's arm.
Help me pull her up.
So you guys can try that again with 2 strength checks from both of you guys if you want to. Unless
Let me just-
like that's not going to help though unless Dane puts away the
unless I
Or-
set the
thingy.
badge off behind me to make sure I don't get stopped by stone.
basically.
So
Yeah.
I am gonna do that.
I'd like to mention something. A panic tongue is definitely out right now.
And him.
I would imagine your
Uh.
tongue can't handle your proper body weight either, so
No, we ruled that, but it's still a panic. I need to hold on to something more.
Okay, so
I
Deanna,
would imagine us shooting out and grabbing Sharon by the forehead.
Oh, come on.
so Deanna does put
Nice.
it behind him, and he's going to help Charon into pulling Vivian up.
Okay, give me 2 strength checks and a climb.
Alright.
Okay,
9.
23.
23.
Okay, that is 1 check. Vivian.
No,
What is this? Fast
Wow.
back and forth?
I legitimately have a +2 to this.
So Vivian is basically panicked to hell right now because she slips from Sharon's grasp, but Deanna manages to grab hold of her again. So she's swung from right to left, from left to right, not making any headway. Please
So-
repeat.
I actually do want to ask something because of this.
Go ahead.
Currently, my load is light.
And
At most, I can carry up to 300 pounds.
now I think I've mentioned this before, Dane, but when it comes to carry weight and stuff like that, it is a bit different when it comes to like carrying like living creatures and
Okay,
stuff like that.
I just wanted to make sure.
By the rules, yeah, sure, a person might be able to carry it like a small elephant, but that is
Realistically.
I
yeah,
can
realistically,
technically
otherwise.
look. I can technically climb and ride you. The issue is that my weight is in an awkward position.
Yep.
That as well as
Wait,
you're, like,
can't
you are holding her at like your arms are fully extended, plus
Okay.
a little bit more, and you are having to like pull her up first to you. You're not having her at the optimal position. You're gonna have to do some work before you can manage to pull her up. Like
Okay.
like you're allowed to like pull her up, but you're just gonna have to measure the strength to do it.
All right.
But yeah, let's do
Aaron?
3 more rolls.
A
Three
little
more
help.
Okay.
rolls. 3 more rolls.
4.
This is either gonna
13.
end. Oh,
13.
oh, this is.
This is.
Yeah, it's the 𝓮𝓼 climb. Yeah,
Okay, climb.
Okay, so yeah,
The
once
exact
again,
reverse.
so yeah, both of you guys don't have anything, but at least Vivian is sort of making her headway up, and I'm gonna say because she's doing climbing, she does manage to climb up using you guys as scaffolding, essentially. So she's out of the hole. She's out of danger.
Okay.
But good lord, she must be panicked right now.
Yeah.
Feel free to hit me. I'm sorry, that was my bad. I did not expect the moment it leaves your hand for the entire thing to drop.
Hold on. I
Wait,
am
you
immune.
were holding on? You were holding on to her. You expected it.
I didn't expect it to be the instant I take it from her.
I am immune to fear.
So she's just unrelentingly pissed right now.
I mean, you say yes, you're immune to fear, but I would imagine you can still be flabbergasted.
Yeah, just.
We tested
Okay.
this before, though.
You're immune to fear.
Shut up.
You're immune to fear, but you can still scrabble.
Okay.
No,
So
this is me scrabbling.
so at the very least I at least now know what we can do.
Oh god.
Just to make things easy. It's gonna involve, at the very least, you traveling back and forth, as he points to Charon.
Yeah, I can bring the badge back and forth.
Yeah,
Well, I'd also like to try one thing.
You want to try marking it off?
I want to try writing the mark on us, yes.
well,
So,
we do have a little bit of charcoal from the campfire going now, so let me.
yeah, I was about to say, if you want to, you can go and grab like a chart stick and start drawing with that.
Mhm.
Here, just mark it on me because I can actually fly if things go wrong.
Well, I
Okay.
was gonna have her mark the steel shield I have.
May I attempt to make the mark?
Let's make that a pure intelligence check to try to copy it. Let's have
good.
that. Let's have that signify the likeness.
Oh,
It's a very decent likeness. It's not perfect, but it's basically the same. Like not on a like centimeter to centimeter thing. Like,
But roughly the
not
shape is the same.
identical.
Yeah.
But
Alright,
largely like it would score 90% likeness.
So here's a question: Who'd you mark? Did you mark 𝓮𝓵𝓷𝓵 ''Ħġiel'Ġ or...
Charon. I would rather mark Charon, who can fly.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
Okay.
give
I
it-
will attempt to take a step onto the bridge after she does that.
So do you just do what she did, or do you just jump in it because you know you can fly?
I jump in it because I know I can fly.
Okay. Long story short, you jump in and you notice that the bridge does not even attempt to materialize below you. There must be
Flap.
something else to it than just the mark.
Yep.
And then you easily just take off and fly back. Because you have wings.
Yep.
he drank Red Bull today.
He drinks Red Bull every day.
Okay, so it's not just a symbol then, because that didn't work.
Alright, so it looks like Plan A is gonna have to work.
Yeah. And so you guys know,
Lord.
yeah, so you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
know there's 2 more badges in that guard room, but I don't know if that golem's alive now or what.
There was a golem?
Yeah, it was inactive, but when I tried walking out, I heard something moving there, and that was the only other thing I saw. So I booked it, I didn't check after that, so I don't know what happened, but...
Okay then. So, Charon? You're not gonna
There's
go
also
back...
some nice weapons over there.
Well, that's interesting. But you're not gonna go back over there. At the very least, not
Uh,
alone.
Yeah, I don't plan to
So-
go alone, I'm just mentioning it.
So, I think at this
'Cause-
point... I think at
Mhm.
this point, I'll go first. You bring the badge back, and then follow Vivian back here. Sound good?
Could work, but here's just one issue I see, is a side thing.
That would be...
Well, like I said before, something's alive in that city. At least some creatures, whether they're human or they're whatever thing we fought earlier. I'm not sure. So, if I fly over after someone gets to that side, and I'm flying back, they could get ambushed while alone.
That's
I
why
suppose I
I'm...
could give you a bit more descriptive about what the crowd looked like.
Okay,
Think
that works.
bustling city life.
Okay.
So
Bustling
with
city life.
some of the shapes looking either like guards or like the things you fought before.
Okay, so I mentioned like that. It's like, the city's alive and active, it's not dead. And I don't know if it was guards or lust spawn that were in there, that it was hard to tell because I didn't get any closer than I had to.
Well, then it's fine if I go up ahead then, rather than leaving Vivian over on that side.
Yeah, I would...
But there's a different option there.
What?
We give one so that way no one's alone. I can give all my stuff to someone, and then I'm lighter.
But then you'd also be without armor or anything to fight if something happens.
Let me just make one thing clear.
Well,
Go
they
ahead.
can help me put on my armor.
Ďędra can give Vivian a piggyback ride. It's
Okay.
possible. What I'm saying is like it's just that with both people being willing and like being able to like facilitate it. The thing which you're hanging. Have you ever tried to deadlift something on your stomach when your arms are fully extended.
No,
the
that's
first-
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
The first movements are punishingly hard. If your arms are already a little bit bent, it's a lot easier to lift something because
Yeah.
you're not using everything to like pull. You're also
Yeah.
using something to be restraining. Like, but yeah, like that's basically what I'm saying. When it comes to picking someone up, they have to be willing, and it has to be proper. It's a proper situation. You can't just walk up to a bugbear and lift it up off the ground above your head simply because you have the strength to it.
That's fair.
Like,
I guess
a giant can grab you, and like if it's big enough, it can lift you off the ground, but it has to succeed a grapple check to like get a proper grip on you.
that's
If
fair.
Be
you- if you
perfectly
just
fine
allowed
with
it to have
riding
silly grabs,
someone.
that would be no problem.
Well, I guess that is a good option then. It'll help expedite
𝓮𝓺𝓷𝓵
the
can
process.
give Vivian a ride, even if he's fully armored. I believe he is fully strong enough to carry both your equipment and his.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
How
he's-
much do you weigh?
He's definitely going to be heavily encumbered.
I personally am 25 pounds. My equipment.
Look at the inner sheet right now. He can definitely lift you on your back. On
I'm
his
in
back.
between.
Um,
I'm in between 50 and 100.
So
unless you weigh, basically, unless your entirety weighs 200, he can take you on his back.
Yeah.
we'll just ballpark and say she's 125.
I would say 170, but oh well.
How was
Yeah,
it?
then
Never mind. 125.
Yeah, I would then say then, you two for sure go together,
Yeah, I can.
I
share
take-
your-
and either I take the badge back and get the others one by one, or we try to get the other two badges to get them all in one fell swoop.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
As Deanna's picking up Vivian.
There were 2 other badges in that room. I didn't get them, I only got the one, but
That's
they're
fine.
all identical.
The one should be enough. As Deanna
No.
now has Vivian on his back.
No, all I'm saying is
Right
that,
now we're gonna sleep first.
Oh,
yeah,
right. I forgot about that.
I mean, you guys can manage to get across before it's nighttime. It
But I
basically
think-
is just if you guys want to. It's basically between if you guys want to rest on this side, where it's
We wanna
gonna be
rest
a
on this
bigger
side.
portion,
We
or
wanna
you
rest on
wanna
this side.
rest on
We'll
that
rest on this side.
That is up to you. Okay. You're resting.
That
on
was
already
active if
already
enemy
established
stuff.
campfire then.
Yep, we'll rest by the campfire with Deanna on watch first.
Okay.
Vivian second.
Karen last.
yeah.
Deanna
And
will
Ulan
also be
and
holding on
Azrae
to.
just scouting in the distance from last you remember.
Also,
Okay.
Deanna will also be holding on to the badge to make sure it's not left on the damn
So-
floor.
I do believe. Now is it actually? I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna roll the dice for you for the sake of convenience.
Yeah.
Please.
After the rest may also be a good time to end, honestly, before we go into that
Yeah,
city and
well-
everything.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not high enough. So, you guys go to rest by the fire and keep watch. Looking in the distance towards this absolutely honking large metropolis that is just towering above you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You just watch it, like this spire. You're like, well, you guys are now much closer. Like, you haven't seen the Metropolis in this big detail until now. Like, previously it's been either covered by fog, like distance fog, or covered by clouds, question mark?
Yeah.
Wow. Or, like, just covered by hills and such. But you guys are now standing much closer, and you do see that even though this is underground, you do see there are light of the city. You hear distant murmurings from the city. Like if it's in the dead quiet of night and you're doing nothing but listen, in between the rustling of the underground winds caused by the waters in the lake, you hear the bustling sound of a city that apparently never sleeps, and you do see that the giant spire does have light on the top of it. Like, it has maybe like 1 or 2 lights every like few tens of floors in the middle of it. But the top, like, from what you can tell, is always lit. it is very much unnerving because you know nothing of this place. You didn't even know such a place could exist, I would imagine. At least not like here on the ground. Well, you've seen big cities before, but this is something completely different. You have no idea what to expect on the other side of those arches, and you potentially will next time we play. As the morning rises, and you remain untouched from the night. I thank you all, and for the sake of spooky, because we're apparently in pre-October, you guys are getting 666 experience points.
I'm so fucking close.
I'm fine with that.
Actually, you know what? It's not October yet. 665.
Ah.
I'm so close.
Yeah, Deanra is so close to leveling up.
Yes.
Whatever happens, as long as Dane shows up to next session, he levels up.
Well, as long as he doesn't die, he levels up.
I just need 60, I just need
If he
65
dies,
more
he
experience.
If he dies, he posthumously levels up.
Dang, quickly, go hunt the goblin dogs. Search them out while we're out. Don't rest, just go.
Just, I'm a bit
Yeah,
upset
I'm gonna
now. I already know what I want to do with my level up, and I'm fucking
Hey.
65 away.
Just think of it. You'll have a eureka moment in the middle of battle. Just like, wait a
Dane.
second.
Dane, remember when you were like 2 experience off from actually gaining your first level up in Trennick's game?
Do not remind me
And
of
he
that
gave you
fucking game.
pity?
Do not
And he gave you
remind me.
pity EXP?
My
But yeah.
response is fuck him.
As I'm just gonna add in my list of
Actually-
things to do, share on scouting reports.
Actually,
Player journals.
basically, Dane's the only one close to leveling up now, isn't he?
Yeah, because I just
am.
leveled up last
Yeah.
time, so yeah.
How far are you away with you?
Hold on.
Kaga's got
That's
like
math.
like
a shit
3,000
ton.
something? 5,000?
Wait, Kaga? Actually, more
I'm
than
at
5,000.
12,935.
And how much
So
do
I
you
need
need?
2,065.
Ah.
Huh, we're actually close, Kaga. I need 3,000 to level up again.
But yeah, you know what? I feel like being generous today because we may not be able to play next session.
True.
And that's gonna be salty. I'm just gonna go through and add. How much would that be? That would be 65, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm just gonna go through and add 65 to those that
Everyone?
I'm playing. You guys can do that as well. I'm
Okay.
gonna add it to
Level up!
Luan's and Azrae's character sheets. But at
Can I-
65, Dane, you get to level up.
Can I request 2 less EXP?
Wait.
You can choose to omit experience if you don't want it.
Because that would be at 59.95. Reverse mirror of it.
Okay.
But yeah,
I-
Dane, congrats on level 4.
Yay! Oh right, I actually have to go into the class thing. I can't just leave it in there. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Level 4.
505.
What? Okay.
We'll say that I ended up having to mute game because the music was starting to activate my anxiety.
I'm sorry.
That is completely fine. Sorry.
So, congratulations, Whale Duck, you found the right music.
Are you talking about Night Cave or Bump in the Night?
Uh,
Like you got when it was
Guys.
searching the inside of the guardhouse or just the standard cave music?
when we were going around the whirlpool, I had to mute it.
Oh yeah, right. It was I think it was like Exotic Battle, wasn't it?
Guys.
Yeah,
Like this
no.
stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, Dane, counter roll me. It's a D10, right?
Yeah. I got a 10. Fucking keeping that.
Yeah, I rolled a 2. You get to keep 10. I didn't get to roll my cheap D6 today, but oh well. It was fun.
Alright, so that's plus 10 plus con of 2, so that's plus 12 HP. Nice.
But yeah, how'd you guys enjoy today's session?
It was fun.
Good.
That's good.
You just had 10, Dane.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. I can see your screen.
I know.
Uh,
Hooray! I have 38 HP. What, guys? What's even better is my fists become stronger now.
Nice.
Oh, good. You also have an ability score increase.
And let's
Alright.
also not forget, I now have a passive dodge bonus while wearing
You
light
have
armor.
As I
You
put up
have
Sharon's scouting report in the player journals.
Oh shit, we've
I
not been
found some
updating
end
that,
music,
have we?
guys. I found some
That's
end
nice.
game music.
It's nice.
It's nice. I need to add dodge bonus.
What nice way to do that is just there and just right next to it where what it comes from.
Yeah, sure. Let me also add the class feature of AC bonus.
Alright, I do have to go now as well since I had to do some like chores and stuff today. But it was fun.
Have yourself an absolutely wonderful day.
You too. Later, guys.
Later.
Potentially see you tomorrow for game.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. I'm gonna finish up doing what I need to. Probably gonna put if
your ability score increase gonna go.
I
Yeah,
already know
you got
where it's
+1.
gonna go. I already know where it's gonna go. Also,
I'm just gonna have a look and take a wild guess where you're gonna put it.
well, first things
Let's
first, I
see,
gotta
the
get
Emperor.
the regular favorite bonus stuff. Want
Yep.
to improve my grappling trip, or do I want to go further beyond?
Tell me when I can just have a quick look at your core.
Dane, you want to actually put a rank and use magic device.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I'm
know.
gonna guess
Trust me.
I'm guessing you're gonna put it into either core or intelligence. Oh, yep, intelligence.
My intelligence has now increased by a whopping 1.
Hey, it's a big one. That
It's-
means that you're gonna get you're gonna get technically 4 more intelligence skill points than you got last
Yeah,
level.
I have a total of 10 unallocated skill points. I have 10 I can apply everywhere.
Hey, Dane, you're human.
Yeah.
Are you
okay.
getting your skill point?
Yeah, I included that with every one of my things.
Okay.
So I put it as 5 because Brawler actually gets 4 plus intelligence. But
Okay.
but I also added in the 5, so it was a 5 plus intelligence. And now my intelligence is now 2.
Yay!
So I'm getting 5 skill points plus intelligence, a total of 7 per level up.
Now, I'm gonna introduce you, Dane, to the wonderful the wonderful world of activating mishaps. Because, yeah, shit can happen if you fail by more than a certain amount, Dane.
Oh, I
Dane,
know. Yeah?
it is not smart for you to put in spellcraft.
Yeah, like everyone can put into use magic device, but spellcraft, that is.
You have to have detect
Yeah.
magic in order to properly use spellcraft.
Fine. But I also am going to pick up linguistic.
That's fine.
I'm just doing this for the end of the stream part, because I might as fucking well.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What language are you gonna take?
Considering as to where we are, probably maybe something with the demonic sense.
When it comes to demons are of the abyss, so they would speak abyssal. Devils are of hell and would speak infernal.
Yep.
Now, you do not know. The demon spawns are aberrations. They are not particularly demons. They are not outsiders, to say it like that. They are aberrations, not demons.
Improve nature.
Okay,
was
here
gonna
we go.
say, did you
Okay,
wanna-
Dave, this is very important for you to know. Let's see here. If you fail by 10 or more, you suffer a mishap. Mishap means that magical energies get released that you don't want, but you don't want it to do. What do you don't want it to do? A default mishap, when something goes wrong, it affects the wrong target or the uncontrolled magic it releases, dealing 2d6 damage to you. A mishap has a chance, has an addition to chance a mishap, normally risk, blah blah blah. Casting a spell with a scroll that you normally otherwise would not cast yourself. That is from Activate Blindly. But I'm gonna say, with Use Wand, I want to say Sam agrees. Actually, never mind. Use a wand
Wouldn't I
staff
have
for other
gone
spelling
magic-
object. Normally,
Wouldn't
if
I
you use
have
a wand,
gone
you
the
just...
activated word?
Come again?
Wouldn't I have gone the activated word with my detect or with my spellcraft?
I mean, if you know, basically, you knowing that it's a wand of Scorching Ray, you would know the activating word and the activating motion. The use match device basically emulates him trying to do that. I'm seeing here now, using a wand staff or other spell trigger item. Normally, to use a wand, you must have the wand spell on your spell list. This allows you to use the wand as if you had a particular spell in your spell list. Failing the roll does not expend a charge. So basically, he tries to emulate what you tell him, but if he fails, nothing bad happens because he's trying to emulate it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's trying to hit a DC 20, but if he fails, nothing happens and the spell isn't charged. Or the spell isn't discharged, rather. If he didn't know what it was, he wouldn't have known the magical words to try to activate it, and thus activate blindly. When you try to activate blindly, and you miss by 10, so if you're also 15 or below, then it will be a mishap. But because you guys know what it is, he can try to activate it at no risk.
Oh, that's
Apparently.
nice.
Yeah.
So, Dane, I saved you.
Well, he didn't even know it was magical. He just picked up it and called it Henry because it was special and didn't succumb to the fire.
Yeah, pretty much. That was it. Considering as to where we are and the fact that there still might be goblins around, that's fucking well.
Are you literally taking Goblin?
I picked up Abyssal and Goblin, yes.
Okay.
I know how to speak Orc, I might as well learn how to speak Goblin.
Well, let me remind you again, Dane. You saw goblin dogs and you saw tracks of kobolds. You have yet to see tracks of goblins. But you're in Varesia, which are known for its goblins, so goblin is also a proper choice.
That is also true.
It's just...
My language is right below Goblin.
Hey, come again, Dane?
God fucking... Okay, so
Dane,
kobolds don't have a dedicated language aside from...
No, they have Draconic.
No, I'm saying like an actual language literally just labeled kobold.
No, they have Draconic.
No. They have Draconic, yeah.
You know, I might as well. I'll pick it up when I level up to 5.
Remember, if you don't like your choices, there is always retraining if you find a proper NPC.
Actually, you know, I have a better idea.
Another skill into linguistics.
Another skill point to linguistics.
Remember, Dane, you can only take away from what
the ones I did
put
level up
into this level.
Which one of them was climb. No, climb was first level. Never mind.
Also, I just realized you put 3 points into use magic device.
Well, of course.
When you have a -1 charisma. I applaud you, Dane. I applaud you. You have to roll an 18, 19, or a 20 in order to have a potential to even use Henry.
Drop that back down, and we're gonna use linguistics. I'm gonna learn Linguini at this point.
Also, I would just want to say, for the sake of convenience, I would put a comma soldier on your profession military commander.
Oh, sure. Skills.
Or rather, soldier, comma military commander.
Yeah, because that's just the rank. It's still technically just soldier.
Yeah. I mean, soldiers have things that they do, like long hauling and mine logistics and military commander. Like, if you somehow manage to win over the hearts and minds of a clan of kobolds in order to dig a massive pitfall trap against an oncoming rival goblin tribe, which actually I did in a game of mine, which was absolutely glorious.
Hey
I want to
guys,
tell this story.
I now
Hey.
have an AC of 20.
When you don't use flurry of blows, you mean?
Even when I have
Because
fun.
when you use a flurry of blows, you use your shield as a melee and lose your AC bonus thing.
Yeah, when I use my shield, then yeah, I lose out, but I don't always have to use a shield.
So there was one game that I played in locally, and I was playing as a modified version of a doppelganger. So I had the ability to change my shape into a different humanoid that I've seen, or another persona of mine. And basically, the campaign was we were hired by a railway company. It was a low magic, high technology campaign, and we were hired for a railway company to build a railway between two towns to reconnect it, because it was previously a high magic world, and then some sort of leeching happened that caused magical explosions, and suddenly magic started to drain from the world. Magic was still around, but it was scarce, and people couldn't teleport anymore. So instead, people developed steam technology and started building railway tracks. So we were part of the railwaying crew. We were part of the forward scouting party to make sure that the place where we were supposed to be building the tracks were free of, like it's clear over here, like there's infestations over there, stuff like that. And one particular part, it was the path between two mountains. Each mountain was inhabited by a tribe of kobolds and a tribe of goblins that were constantly warring. And they both were worshipping roosters. Like, they had one divine rooster each. And we basically were told, like, yeah, like, you can make a pact with one of them, but you're gonna have to go to war against the other one.
Fair
So,
enough.
our group decided to side with the kobolds, and we went to diplomatize with them. And me, being a doppelganger and a little bit power hungry, and the main diplomat of the party, I wanted to win the kobold leader over to my side and essentially lead the war against the goblins. And so I went on some bullshit, Like, what happened previously was that each tribe had stolen the other one's sacred rooster.
The rooster.
And
Yes,
I went on a very, very heartful, like, religious speech about, like, we have to go and get your god back, because they were revering these roosters as gods. We have to go and get your rooster back. Like, if we don't do it, like, who is going to do it? And the party was saying, like, what are you doing? Like, we can't lead these guys into war. And I turn to my group and I say, well, if we're not going to get the god back, who is? And I raised my fist and I said like that. And the GM said, as you raise your fist, the entirety of the gobbled army behind you also raises their fist in unison.
Wow.
I rolled very high on my diplomacy skill, and we went out and set a massive pitfall trap. And I basically, being a very aggro sorcerer, went on ahead alone, pissed off the goblins, and started sprinting back, running across a very thin, like, solid line between two massive pitfalls. And just the entirety of the goblin horde just falling into these pitfall traps. With me barely managing an acrobatics check to balance across this thin line. It was very, very gratifying.
That is amazing.
Yes, it was.
Alright. I think now's a good time to actually disperse. So we're gonna go raid VR Funny.
Yay!
She's playing Call of Duty right now, and again, she's a fox. Might as fucking well. Alright.
That is rude.
What?
To call someone a fox.
She is a fox. She's a winter fox.
Rude.
Let's just go raid her. All right. Tune in next time, everybody. We might be streaming tomorrow, but definitely tune in this coming Wednesday. I plan on streaming. Later.
Yay!
Anyway, I should start to wind down.
Okay.
Good night.
3-man record for Call of Duty Zombies. The group is Azzy Slayer, New Dory, and VR Funny. The hashtag roll for initiative.
But yeah, so I recently got into the chapter 4 of Octopath. That's fun.
Nice.
Indeed.
Oh, God, my legs. Sorry about that. Still, I will say I do appreciate you giving me the 65 experience points.
But seriously though, I feel it'll be a bit of a kick in the teeth looking at that level, that small amount of experience from level up, when potentially it's going to be 2 weeks until next.
I forgot to stop the stream.